This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, y'all. Happy hump day. Good to see you, Holly. Cara, Juliana, Bellis, Hannah Care, Bogart, Kimmy D, 423, Orange Rose, Hobby Farmer. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Curious Christine, Crime Wars, Tom, Dandy Lioness, Miss Sarah's here. Nicole is here. Good to see you. Pandora. I've been catching up on this case. This is one thought. The behavior panel evaluated the mom's body language. Interesting. That would be interesting to see. Hey, AM. Jessica is reporting for duty. That'd be me. Irene Pinky, good to see you. Sandra, good to see you. Snarky Pants, Miss King of Anything. Kimmy C123. Andy, good to see you. West Side Crime Show. And Anders. Today we are going to discuss Jennifer Soto's so-called camel toe. That is one camel toe that I wish would remain where it's at. I don't ever want to see that camel toe. Lord, please, God Almighty. You Anders, I'm gonna have to whoop your ass when she walks into court now. I'm gonna be seeing if she has a camel toe. Lordy have mercy. Do you have any tips on natural deterrents to mosquitoes? Peppermint oil, I think. I've actually hold on. Hold on. It's funny you asked that because I just wrote down a bug spray because I use doTERRA essential oils and my landlord gave me a bug spray. My bug spray is 5 drops of cedarwood oil, 5 drops of lavender oil, 10 drops of lemon eucalyptus, 15 to 20 drops of TerraShield, which is like citronella and some other things. And then 5 drops of peppermint, and then you add witch hazel and water to that. Now, if you don't have all of those, I have those. But if you don't, you could use some of them. Some of them would help, like even just one of them I've used. You can also I wrote down dry used coffee grounds and burn them. You can put alcohol or cooking oil in it to like make it burn easier and take with you. And you can put lemon, eucalyptus, and peppermint in the used coffee grounds and stir it up real good and let it dry and then put some alcohol or cooking oil and it'll burn. Deep woods off, I did have some of that, but that stuff is so toxic. Like you are literally spraying cancer on your body. Just my opinion. Lorianne and Alex, good to see you. Did you write it down? Danny Dorito, good to see you. I like your name and your picture. That's awesome. Sue Joy, good to see you. They hate citronella. Yep. Eat garlic, said Hobby Farmer. Eat garlic. That's true. They don't like garlic if your blood tastes like garlic. Curious Christine said Skin So Soft by Avon is what they use for horseback riding. Interesting. Lala said I planted an anti-mosquito garden on my deck using plants and pots and it works like a charm. I just Googled what plants to use. That's a really cool idea. I like that. Sunscreen is the same way, Sandra. I was just trying to figure out how to make sunscreen and you need zinc oxide. It said I could use like coconut oil and shea butter and I'm like, well, I think you would burn if you use that stuff, but it said to add zinc oxide and I don't have any zinc oxide. You could probably find it online though, like a natural version of it. Um, Grish, good to see you. I had citronella, but my husband thought it was a weed and moat. Oh no. Oh no. Sandra said you can buy pure zinc oxide. Thank you for that. Ugh, that's awful. All right. I know. Good to see you, Grish. All right. So, let's get back into the emails that I so stupidly did. We have when Stearns says laugh out loud, I have 2 audio clips for you guys. We can play this one.
Yeah, yeah, gosh, something wrong here.
Or we can play this one that doesn't say something wrong here.
Yeah, yeah, gosh.
That's what he reminded me of with them laugh out loud. Yesterday, I was like, stop it. Stop it. Right now. You stop that shit. My favorite Goofy. I use Skin So Soft, put it on my dog's noses and bellies. Awesome. Yeah. There is definitely something wrong with Stearns. That is for damn sure. All right, I'm getting it pulled up. Do do do. I'm going to read the last little section of what he said in the last email, and then we'll jump to my response. I think it was this one. Okay. Yeah. So the last thing he said, last paragraph, making things is a cool skill. Creation is a satisfying thing. I think your vocabulary is more than sufficient. I don't think my own is really very far beyond yours at all. So don't short sell yourself. Stop it. Stop trying to flirt, you nasty bastard. All right, sorry. Okay. Sounds like you are the creative type. I enjoy the odd craft here and there myself. Using your hands to make or create a craft or something is an enormously satisfying feeling. Though my own crafts tend to be along the lines of painting things, not like an artist with a canvas, but like applying color and paint jobs to existing objects. Again, I'm telling you, think Warhammer characters. Or also casting things from resin. That was a craft I had recently gotten into but hadn't progressed much yet. What sort of things do you make? I am about to lose the tablet, so I got to go now. Hope to hear back soon. Um, Also, just to briefly recap, we talked about ADHD. He doesn't have a TV to watch, having a baby squirrel, and that it choked on a piece of bark. Um, Kids in the 90s, MTV, stuff like that. All right, let's see what I said back. So that was, oh, it switched. That was the 9th, I believe. Can we read this one? No, this is the 8th. Yeah, this is the response. So I sent this one Tuesday, April 8th at 6:57 p.m. And right here in the first sentence, I say, "Hello, sorry it took me a minute to respond. I wanted to wait until I could sit down and focus on the email, ADD and all." That right there is already telling you by this response. So he sent me 2 and I had sent him maybe 2. By that time, I was already done with it. I was already like, this feels really gross. I don't even really like it. Like, I was definitely not checking my email, which, oh, again, I meant to do that before I came live and I didn't. I apologize. I will I'm going to set an alarm on my phone to check my email tonight. I sincerely apologize about that. I had a crazy morning. And my morning routine has just intensified. I'm going to put that out on a video. So, it was very busy. Plus, I wanted to get all the blackberries before they're gone for the year so I can make a pie. Just reading your comments. That's nice. Curious. Type 1 diabetes is so tough on little ones and their families. Oh my God, it is. Especially children. Like, I don't know what the difference is between the types. So I don't want to insult anybody, but like it would be so hard to tell a child you can't have another piece of cake, or you can't have that type of sweet. And man, that would break my heart. Hey, MK Connecticut. I commend you for even attempting this. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a very hard one. I'm so sorry y'all are dealing with that. Wasn't that bizarre seeing his name pop up like that? You talking about Stephens? It was. It was awkward. Awkward would be a more appropriate word, I think. Um Santana, good to see you. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Stearns, it was weird. And it was weird, like, again, that's why I say it was I didn't ever think he'd really write back. I really didn't. And then he did, and it became, well, I mean, you were gonna get the story, right? So get the damn story. And it was just awful. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That kind of stuff affects everybody, it seems. It's a hard thing. All right, I continued. It may just be the ADD for me. I'm not very hyperactive. Laugh out loud. The different flavors part is funny. I don't like my flavor. I thought it was stupid, but I could tell he was being kind of flirty with me when he was talking about, don't short sell yourself and things like that. Your vocabulary, my vocabulary isn't that far past yours. Using the words that he does, his vocabulary is way more advanced than mine. Like I feel like I don't get me wrong, like, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound kinda weird, but, like, I feel like he had to kinda dumb himself down to talk to me, but because his vocabulary is so extensive, right? It's not because, like, I think he's an intelligent person or a good person or anything like that. It's just, number 1, I don't have that type of vocabulary, and number 2, I was not putting any forethought into these emails. I didn't know what to do or what to say, and so it just became, well, keep him talking, and you're supposed to get the story, so get the story. And so that's what it was, keep him talking and get the story, but his vocabulary is way past mine. I do feel like as far as vocabulary, he would've I mean, I probably wouldn't understand some of the words he uses, but he's a horrible fucking person regardless of his vocabulary, and I hope he rots in hell for the rest of his life. Leave that there. I said, I can understand how you could easily lose your mind in solitary. 13 months is a long time to be there alone with nothing but your thoughts, mostly. I know when I got in trouble, was like I know when I got in trouble, it was like time Lord of mercy. I'm already messing up. I know when I got in trouble, it was like time stopped for everyone in jail and it just goes on for everyone outside. I'm glad you are able to keep yourself entertained. That part right there, when you go to jail, it is like time stops because all you have to think about is what put you there. What did I do to get here? How am I going to, what's going to happen when I go to court? I mean, you watch TV and you can see what's happening on the news, but other than that, time does stop. It becomes chow call, canteen, shower, and that's it. I mean, everything every day is the same. It's like that Nine Inch Nails song, "Every day is exactly the same," because it is, and it's like time stops and never moves. Amanda, good to see you, sweetheart. I am so sorry, Tom. Oh, it runs in your family. Kimmy D said, "Shh, it's only letters that make a word. He ain't jack shit." I agree. Hey, Hio, good to see you. Sia said Jen had to know something was up when she saw Maddie seat belted in the front seat, slumped over like a cardboard Joe Biden cutout, grinning ear to ear like Rick the Joker face. You know, when he shows her the picture in that audio and she's like, she's asleep. And he's like, does that look like sleeping to you? Like, I have not seen the picture. We haven't been privy to that. But for him to look at her and say, does that look like she's sleeping to you? Like, really, ma'am? Really? Are we really going to play that? Like, that's the way he says it. So you know that she didn't look like she was sleeping, and Jen tried to pass it off like she did. I mean, that should tell us that she knows more than she acted like she did. Do I feel dirty after reading his emails? I feel disgusted that I talked to him and tried to keep him talking. I do. I didn't like it. It was an awkward feeling because he's a piece of shit and everything he did to Maddie, but I wanted the story. I wanted to know I wanted to know why he thought it was okay to do that to a fucking child. And I also wanted to crush him. I also wanted him to think, well, at least I have one person to talk to that's not going to be mean to me or, you know, berate me for the things that I've done. And I wanted to do just that. I wanted the last email to lay out for him exactly what he was. And it would have meant more coming from somebody he had had a rapport with for an extensive period of time. I have a close family member who went to prison at 17 and served 40 years. Oh my God. He said to have a real bed is heaven now. Oh my goodness. That's crazy, Allie. Hey, Dainty. And so being asleep, if she actually wasn't, we know she wasn't, being asleep would have made it okay? Good question. I think that sleeping photo was shown for a very short while when it first happened. I saw it once. Really? That's interesting. Trying to make sure I didn't misunderstand you. If she was, and we know she wasn't, being asleep would have made it okay. Oh, so if she thought that she was asleep on the way to school, maybe. I don't know if Jen had been hit with the CSAM issues or not at that point in time. And they're talking about sleeping in the car where he had her strapped up and her mouth was slumped open and a gate over the center console in an awkward position. Lord, don't say that to me, snarky pants. Don't ever say don't sell myself short. Ugh. You have a great vocabulary and knowledge and use it properly. He uses it in a way that makes him feel superior, and that's the difference. Thank you for that. That is a good way to put that. That was very sweet. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Lori. I'll keep you in my prayers. Yep, like curious. Yeah, Hio Indy is saying she hopes your Nana's better. I think everybody is. Yeah, I figured. Unfortunately, Maddie did pretend to be asleep a lot, I think. Okay, lastly, before I go back to the email, I'm positive I saw it. Maybe Plunder had it taken from a street camera, not a good photo, though, and then it was gone. Interesting. I've never seen it. That's interesting. Okay. I'm glad you are able to keep yourself entertained. I used to do Sudoku puzzles in the newspaper, LOL. I actually did. When I was pregnant with my daughter, um, I lived with her father and his mother would do the Sudoku puzzles, and I didn't know how to do them. And she showed me what they were and how to do them. So then we would sit and drink coffee and do them together. And I wrote, they will make you think. The learn to draw books sound fun. That's a great idea. I've tried them in the past, but not with very much luck. Let me reiterate on that. I have tried the learn to draw books in the past, but like in middle school, not as an adult, but I do the adult coloring books sometimes. Hio said, thank you all so very, very much. This is the first time I've been home in a minute during the day, so I'm happy to have some downtime. I appreciate everyone's prayers and good vibes and hugs. It means the absolute most. Thank you, Hio. That was so sweet. And thank you guys for keeping her and her nanny in your thoughts and prayers. I said, those gel pens suck. It's literally just the ink tube and tip. And we talked about those the other day during Stern's court hearing where they argued about the pen, but I will show them to you real quick again. This is a gel pen, and you could like literally tie them in a knot. See, there's someone holding it. You see how it turns? That's what it is. What the crap is that? 925 sterling silver vintage saxophone musical instrument charm pendant. Why is that coming up when I type in gel pen? Anyways, moving on. You know, ADHD and all. Okay. More power to you if that's all you have. I couldn't do it, that's for sure. I don't know much about manga, but I have heard of Bleach and Naruto. If you get good at drawing those, you can make your own anime book, and that would be really cool. I'm just trying to make him sound like um, I don't know how to put it. Like, I'm trying to keep him talking and like be a good pen pal, I guess. Like, basically keep him talking, make him feel comfortable enough with me. Like, you got to understand a lot of this is trying to build up so that he's comfortable with me enough to give me the story after court if it had progressed that long. The book carts probably suck. I'm sure the ones your family send you are a lot better. Book carts in jail do suck. I can imagine Jaws, the movie, being better than the book. What's Jaws without that piano tune and the cinematic suspense? LOL. Again, just trying to be relatable or somebody, that he would feel more comfortable with. The fact that you have a starling on your family crest is interesting because it kind of pissed me off. And I forgot to get videos of Starlet. I'm going to get some and show them to you. I didn't know that they meant divine providence. I learn something new almost daily. I do actually learn something new almost daily. It broke my heart when Starlet left, but I know he has a better life now. There's nothing like being out in the wild, and I can't provide that. I'm glad he's happy where he is. I unfortunately have experienced death with my animals too. I've had to hold them as they die, and it was very sad. Breaks your heart every time. I've had animals that die, even ones that, like, the cat got a rabbit, and I tried to help it, and it died, and I only had it for like a couple of hours, but it still breaks your heart. If you're a caring person, I don't think he is. I don't think he gave a shit, honestly. Hey, Jenny Jen. Kind of nauseated after thinking about Jen's toe. Me too. His prison buddies will probably remove that tattoo from Stearns. I hope they do, honestly. I hope the kitten made it okay and survived that you were talking about in the other emails, the one you found on the road. We were lucky to get through the 90s. I miss MTV actually playing music videos. Back then, to sit and watch music videos all afternoon was the best. Music videos were how I listened to music. I used to take a tape recorder and set it by the TV with MTV on so I could listen to the songs whenever I wanted to. I actually did do that. I walked a lot, and so I only had a tape recorder when I was very young. I eventually got a CD player, like a portable Walkman or whatever, but I did actually used to do that. I used to set a tape recorder and record Corn and Slipknot and all that stuff when it was coming out. Outcast, there was a bunch of stuff, and make like a little mixed tape that I would put in my tape recorder and listen to while I walked. Da, 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 da. Then came Napster. I wrote Nastier, but it's supposed to be Napster and burnt CDs. I had a ton of those. And going outside drinking from the water hose, LOL. I mean, that's just a stereotypical thing to talk about in the 80s. Everybody talks about drinking from the water hose. We would probably get in trouble for letting kids drink from the hose in this day and age. I seem to remember a Pirates show. It might be the Pirates of Dark Water that you mentioned. I don't remember any Pirates show. Again, I'm just trying to be relatable and keep him talking. I hate that kids don't get to experience Saturday morning cartoons anymore. I really do. I wish they did still have Saturday morning cartoons. I think they might on regular TV, but I'm not sure. I saw that you like to paint those Warhammer figurines. That indeed takes skill. I don't really think it takes skill, honestly. I'm not trying to bash anybody that does that, but like I've never done it personally because I've never been interested in it, but I don't think it'd be that hard it to paint a little figurine. Now, you got to be able to hold your hand steady and paint a very small object, but that's about all the skill you would need, I would think. Holly said, I used to record off the radio. I always hated when the DJ would talk. Yes, at the end of the song before it was over. Yep. Yep. I would be like, shut up. Stop. Shut up. I'm trying to record this. Hey, Crystal. I still have a Freak Nasty and other cassette tapes. That's funny. Blasphemy, right? Carr said, I have painted Warhammer figurines. It can be really hard. It's harder putting them together. Really? I didn't know you even had to put it together. I thought it came as like one piece cast out of resin or something. Brenda said, yes, Plunder had photos of Maddie in the car on the street cameras. Wow. I did not know that, and I never saw those. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. I never saw that. Did y'all say she has since taken them down? Because if not, I'm going to try to look for them. Right, Bogart? Saturday morning cartoons was the best. I said, do you have to paint them certain colors or do you choose your own? I crochet, paint, wood burn, and other things. I use resin too. It's kind of like I'll see something on Pinterest and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. I could make that and try to. LOL. That's true. I do see, oh my God. I crochet, I do cross stitch, I do embroidery, I do resin, I spin wool. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I want to do it. And then I'll buy all the stuff to do it and I'll do it a couple of times and then I'm done with it. Cindy, oh my goodness, thank you for coming through and dropping 5 on us and gifting 5 memberships. I really appreciate that. And that was so very sweet and supportive of you. You are so amazing and so sweet doing that. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Cindy. Those went to Lucy Purr, the Boo Crew, Christine Hawkins, Grandma Sherry, and Song Bits Laura. If you were gifted from Cindy, please tell Cindy thank you. And if you are aware, thank you so much, Cindy. And I'll grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you again, Cindy. That was so sweet. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you, Cindy. I saw Abraham came in. Hey, Abraham, good to see you. Oh, Hatchling, good to see you. Palling up with a child killer. If you want to look at it that way, you are sure welcome to. Everybody is welcome to have their own opinion, even over here. Norma, good to see you. I was not palling up with him, but I was trying to get the story. I was trying to crush his soul in the end. But, everybody is welcome to their own thoughts, opinions, and speculations. So you are welcome to think that. I've had all them X-Men dolls figurines in my basement and Xena and her new crew. I remember Xena. Now that you say that. Cindy, you got here right when you were meant to be here, sweetheart. Hey, Ava. Good to see you. All right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I miss Nintendo 64, LOL. I know it's not one of the best ones ever made. I think I miss the nostalgia of it. Again, even that right there, nostalgia is not a word from my vocabulary, but I'm trying to keep him talking and make him feel comfortable enough to eventually give me the story. Hey, Misty, good to see you. The jealousy is still thick. I feel it in the air. I really do. You watched Xena too? You just watched Xena. Oh, wow. Yeah, Xena was awesome. My brother used to play Mario with me on the 64 and I enjoyed it. They do make everything to break nowadays, so you have to keep buying it and they keep making money and it really sucks. Social media has indeed made people way less social, and then Covington sealed the deal. I don't know what I meant there. It corrected my spelling, but I don't know what I was trying to type instead of Covington. Like I said, I wasn't like putting a lot of thought into this because again, like I said at the beginning, I apologize for taking a minute to respond because even at this point I was kind of like, I don't like this anymore. I'm sorry about your friends. You have to stay positive in there and keep praying. That I took directly from the his mother and the emails and jail calls that we've heard. How she tells him to stay positive. I'm like, well, he listens to his mom. They have some kind of weird fucking relationship. So let me say some of the things that she says. You can't lose hope again. He needs to lose hope. Honestly, I wrote you can't lose hope, but honestly, he needs to lose hope. He needs to give Maddie her dignity and just go up and admit everything he fucking did and apologize and beg for God to have mercy on his soul and Maddie to have mercy on his soul, in my opinion. Once people hear your side, yeah, right here. See, I'm lying like a motherfucker. Once people hear your side of things, they might change their minds. There is no side of things that can make anybody think it's okay to do what he did to that child, to Madeline Soto at an 8 years old, 9 years old, all the way up to 12, just turned 13. There is nothing in the world that could make anyone think that that was okay. But I'm, again, trying to keep him talking, so I say that. The book Sandworms of Dunes title reminds me of that Kevin Bacon movie. It actually did. I think it was Tremors or something. It was, and I don't remember the name. It might have been Tremors. Those big worm snakes were coming out of the desert ground and eating people. If the younger generation saw that today, they would probably laugh and say, wow, those graphics are something else. LOL. I mean, again, just trying to relate, talking about graphics because he's into sci-fi and all that stuff and trying to keep him talking. Shipmaker. Cindy said, I think this was genius. You went undercover and played the part. Thank you. That's what I was trying to do. I understand you didn't like the feeling you had to keep under wraps with that sicko, but you were very good at it. Thank you. It was hard. It really was because it's like, if I tell him how I really feel, he's not going to talk to me. So I got to be somebody else. Shaker Maker. Where did she or Deb comment? What? Did she comment Shaker Maker? I don't even see Shaker Maker. Hey, did you see Deb responding to our comments? No, where did that happen? Yeah, everybody's asking where did that happen? It was Tremors. Okay. These nuts. Good to see you. Oh my God, we are the same. Every time I do a craft, my kids say it's just another craft I'm going to abandon after doing once, right, Lala? It was posted for a brief time. Unfortunately, I saw the video. It wasn't photos that the police chief leaked. The coroner was there describing. Oh, I thought that was out in the field, though. Okay, I'll check it. Donna, good to see you. I don't know. I'm about to check my messages. Let's see. Oh! Oh! I can't even read it on my phone, but we're about to look at it. Hold on. I didn't even see that. Good catch, y'all. Wow, there's like a couple. Okay, hold on. I got to email them to myself, y'all, so you have to give me a second. Is it on? It's on. Okay, it's from the, okay. Oh, I can't even read it. Hold on. I want to know what she said. So let me see. I got to send it to my actual email. This is my email that I made to talk to him, so I'll have to log into my email. Hold on just a minute. All right, we're going to pull up Google and we're going to put up YouTube so I can show you what video it came from. Okay. Hold on. Let me show you what video it came from. I'm going to take the overlay off so y'all can read it better. Excuse me. So it's under this video right here, my latest video. In this email from July 7th, 2025, Stearns shares his thoughts on denial of the motions to suppress. Okay. And then here's the email. Wow, she had a lot to say. So at this point, I don't think some people don't know that it's me, Deborah Sterns 1677. I've stayed quiet and been personally abused by strangers for over a year. Death threats, nasty phone calls, and I keep asking why. It isn't my crime. I told someone else it is like the dog crapped in your house and you kicked the cat for it. It doesn't make sense and it isn't logically fair. I mean, I agree with that, but I think people are upset about what she said, like about specifically Maddie. I personally, I mean, you as a parent do the best you can to raise your children. I don't think that she knew or thought that he was going to be what he turned out to be. I honestly think that she just babied him to the point of he didn't have to have accountability for anything. And she wanted him to, have all of the things in life that made him happy. But somewhere it went wrong. I don't necessarily think it's her fault. That's me personally. Um, Somebody replied back, "This stranger doesn't hold his actions against you. My mother has a son that has put her in terrible positions most of his adult life, and she has never turned her back on him. I do not have children, but I try to explain to my siblings that do not have children either. We cannot understand that bond because we aren't parents. Praying for your peace, you will get through in your way." I'm really glad that person said that to her. And then she said, "Thank you for understanding." Now, here's the other one. MK Connecticut said, if Stearns went crazy and killed Maddie in an emotional incident or rage, although I think he still deserves life in prison, I personally struggle with the death penalty. I might think in a different way. However, the years he abused Maddie ruined her young life, the way he affected her soul and damaged her self esteem and very essence. He will never be forgiven. He made the decision over and over, day after day, to assault Maddie, the worst of the worst. I pray the trial is done on the totally up and up, so there is no reason for appeal. Thanks for sharing. And I agree with that, MK Connecticut. I think that's a good comment. Rebecca first replied and said, if he accidentally overdosed her, as was done before by Jen Soto's claims in her interrogation, I don't care honestly if people would just stop all the curiosity, aka sympathy, in my honest opinion, and just say, oh, hell no, to people who hurt children. I get what you're saying, but not everyone who abuses children was abused themselves, and definitely not everyone who was abused as a child even ever thinks about abusing children. It's an excuse for the sickest of fantasies that may come true. I work against this in advocacy with Ashley Ford from Milan, Ohio. Maddie did in no way deserve this piece of shit in her life. Everyone is so damn busy humanizing Stephan Sterns, all the while what he's done to Maddie is the most dehumanizing. And I don't know what the rest of that says. She said, who do you think provided the drugs and often dispensed them to Maddie? Jen did. She knew. Shaker Maker replied, Deb, was it a case of Jen being fine with it as long as Maddie was asleep? Because that's what I wondered all along. I don't know that Deb will be able to get into it, but I mean, we've talked about that here. If that's true, why would Jen be okay with it? Yeah, real quick. Thank you, Hio. Chat, this is Deb's response. We do not condone reaching out to this channel or this person on YouTube. I don't condone you reaching out to Deb either. Please leave that family alone. Please. You were pushing my luck. Where are you, Shaker? Okay, so let me see what y'all are saying. I think it is. Okay. Okay, so they said you don't know it is her. She doesn't usually post under her own name to be fair. So yeah, let me state that. I don't know for a fact that it is her. I'm sorry. What I meant to say was I've seen a screen name that people have said is her and it looked like that. I don't know if somebody else use that screen name or if it even is her. But I've been handed two screen names of people that we speculate is her. I don't know. I The only way I would know is if I was somehow invisible and standing over her shoulder when she created the YouTube account, and I was not. So I don't know, but it's a speculation that somebody with that YouTube name is Deb. I don't know though. Had to get a drink of my Pepsi. Allegedly Deb Stearns, yes. Well, actually, now that I link the channel back to the origin, it does seem to be her. We're gonna say allegedly, but I have heard that that's her. She is an asshole, no excuses. The way she talks about Maddie is bullshit. She's an asshole, and there's nothing else to it," said Lala. I don't like the way she talks about Maddie either. I don't. It's just hard. I mean, like, keep in mind, okay, just going back to the literature comment, like, he references his mother reading to him from a very young age. And I talked about yesterday how I think that she did push him to try to be as intellectual as he could. I think she did make him advanced for his age as far as school and literature and things like that. But I think that something was wrong. Like Chase, or the alleged person who lived there, talked about the relationship between Deb and Stearns. From Deb's point of view, it could have been that she just really loved him, and that's her child, and she has the ability to give him all the things in the world that make him happy, and she can form him, teach him how to be whatever she wants him to be, and give him the tools he needs to succeed at life. But it fucked up when you didn't make him succeed at life. You enabled him to be incapable of going out on his own and doing his own thing. What happened as far as the abuse with Maddie? I mean, there is a correlation. If you look online, there is a correlation between brain injuries and serial killers, or people who have it. Basically diminishes you down to primal instinct. Okay, think about caveman and cavewoman, right? But I personally don't think the TBI, no matter how grandeur we make it, is enough to do that. I really don't. Let me see what y'all are saying. She seems to be hung up on the fact that Jen Soto is guilty, and that she is making Stephan Sterns to be out to be a martyr. I agree with that. She's very much on the road of Jen Soto is guilty, and therefore by proxy not making Sterns account for what he's done. I definitely agree with that. 4 dog videos. Yep, Abby Pudale is the other screen name. Constance Atkinson said, if not her, someone represented her accurately. Yeah. She made him a stuck-up piece of shit. I mean, to be fair, yeah. I don't think it was her intention, but yeah. Intellectual without maturity is a dangerous thing. I agree, Cindy. Abraham said, we don't blame Herb, but we question her actions and lack of accountability. She defends him. I think that I agree with that statement. And I think that's where we're at with it. Exactly. What part of Maddie was groomed since she was 8 years old from her sick son? It's when she finally admits what her son did to a child and lets him know how disgusting it is, then people might stop. I think that's very true. Well, I don't know about that. Has a sick relationship with her son. In my opinion, that lady is sick herself, and crazy. I don't think personally, AM, hey Ashley, good to see you, and Tony, good to see you, that there's some type of pedophilic relationship between mother and son. I think that, honestly, okay, if we go back to the divorce proceedings and Chris Stearns cheating on her, I think at that point, like, you can't, if I've always said for like a very long time, if somebody cheats in a relationship, it's not going to work. You might as well leave, because you're never ever going to be able to forgive them and to trust them again. Okay. And if I had to speculate, I would think that when Chris cheated on her, her world fell apart in a way, and she just put everything into Stearns. She was like, I'm done with men in general. I'm just going to put everything into my child and making him be the absolute best that he can be. and then they stayed together or didn't get the divorce or whatever. I mean, you can even see now that they talked about sleeping in separate rooms still to this day. So I think it became, I'm just putting everything that I have, every fiber of my being, into my son and my poodles, things to occupy myself so I don't have to think about this man that cheated on me and think about him sleeping with this other woman every time I look at him. And it was unfortunately to her detriment mentally and to his detriment mentally because he never had to grow up and be an adult. I'm going to scroll down. MK Connecticut, real quick, said in his mother's covering up for him, supposedly paying off his misdoings. Yeah, if that happened. But again, I don't think it was her intention necessarily to, like, I don't, because from a mother's standpoint, you would be trying to get your child out of trouble, right? But at the same time, I would question behind the scenes, did you get him any counseling for that? Like, when you saw these things happening, did you get him any counseling? Did you attempt to try to fix whatever you thought could have been wrong? What she said to me tied into Stephan saying he didn't start it, and said, okay, wait a minute. What she said to me tied into Stephan saying he didn't start it. She said he wasn't the first. Jen set the stage. So we're saying that Jen possibly, I'm scrolling way down now. Jen was doing this before he arrived. To find out about that, we'd have to go back to the other person she was married to that has the stepdaughter that Maddie was really close to, but he's like a biochemical engineer or something. Like, I don't see that being possible. I mean, not saying because he's a biochemical engineer that it's not possible. Let me reiterate, because anybody anywhere can do that. Some of the highest echelons in our society do disgusting things like that. But he just didn't seem like the type. He seemed very remorseful. We haven't heard anything from his daughter and things like that. I apologize. I spilled my drink. I saw that you said, quote, he was dancing to Jen's music. The platform for abusing Maddie was already in place before Stephan came on the scene. Did she say that to you in the video I put out? Cara might have sent me more screenshots. Let's see. Oh yeah, there is one more. Let me send that one to myself. Hold on. Edith, good to see you. Tony said, I think she played a major role in things. There is no type. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't mean for it to sound like I was saying there is a type. I mean, he definitely could be guilty of doing something. I just haven't heard anything. Oh, dang. Trying to open the email. I ain't even emailed myself yet. Hold on. I just think if he had done something that the other stepdaughter might say something, but even if she did, would we know about it? And I mean, okay, if Jen was doing these things beforehand, the cops would have talked to her, and like that would be, I think it would be more like she would be seeing some charges. I think we would have seen Jen Soto charged if we could prove that she had been doing that before Stephan got there. Because I mean, that would have blown the whole operation open. Her phone was taken and looked at by the police. Like if they had evidence that somebody else had abused Maddie before Stephan got there, why is she still walking the street? This is the other one. Kim at Doodles said this pen pal is so sus. And it definitely seems like they had more private conversations that we are not aware of. I think she has a crush on him. And before he ended contact with her, I think he was attempting to manipulate her. I think he had hoped to get her to be another commissary funder until mommy told him to stop communicating with her. In my opinion, mommy does not want any other females taking away her special boy. I have many questions about that relationship, not with Chris Stearns, but definitely about Deborah Stearns. So I'm going to reply to this comment publicly. I did not have a crush on him, but if he thought I did, it would have made him trust me more and think, oh, look at this stupid little pen pal that I can easily manipulate and whatever. And so if he thought I did, it would have been part of me playing an undercover role, okay? But I definitely think he's a sick son of a bitch and hope that he rots in hell for what he did to Madeline. I just want to put that out there. He never asked me to send money. He never asked me to talk to him on the phone. We had talked about in the beginning that if I did drop these emails, I would be doxxed. He never asked me for any money or anything like that. We just talked. I mean, to be honest, I think he just wanted somebody to talk to. And for me to be that person trying to be undercover and get the information I wanted, that was okay because I want him to be comfortable with me. Therefore, by proxy, sharing information with me that he might not share otherwise after trial. Woodman, spare the tree, said, I don't think it has anything to do with wanting to keep her special boy. It's good advice not to have any pen pals, and it is. He's waiting for trial. He needs to keep his head down until then. That is 100% accurate, Woodman, spare the tree. Deborah said, Deborah said, you read too many trash novels. I'd love to have given him away to a good woman to start a life, but not with Jen Soto. She gave me the creeps. You don't know her. You didn't know Maddie. You don't know any of us, but you act like you have skin in this game. You don't. You are not working with a full deck, are you? So, I mean, I get what she's saying. That comment, just let me relate this. Just like when Guilty of Crime came out and said, does she have a daughter she wants to sell? And I went the fuck off. Excuse my language. I went the hell off in my house, outside my house. I went the hell off to a bunch of people. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm so fucking pissed off. But she was trying to bait me, and I get it. I really think that you should have said something like the person said in this comment. I think she had a crush on him. Why do you have a crush on a pedophile, Jessica? Like that would have been a more appropriate baiting situation that didn't involve a fucking child. Okay. As you can tell, I'm still a little pissed off about that. So she got kind of pissed off talking about I have many questions about that relationship. It kind of baited her. Now she's pissed off and she's responding to that. I get the anger and upset about the comment, like I really do. But again, I do want to reiterate, she is again bringing Jen Soto into the conversation. Yes, Jen Soto has her faults, and she, I mean, there's a lot of questions when it comes to her child, but I mean, it wasn't just Jen Soto, to be fair. It was him too. Let me see what y'all are saying. I'm going to go up to right here. Lorianne said Jen just wanted to sleep. Very careless human being. I agree. Hey, Hio, what's up? I'm sorry if you've been there.
I know how to get up here when I need to.
What are you doing?
I have one that I would like to respond to publicly, if
Okay.
that's copacetic with you.
Yeah.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna open it up here. Let's see
Okay.
if you can see this on the screen.
Yeah.
So this is the one that Shaker Maker is talking about. I'm gonna try to be calm because I'm shaking with anger.
Oh my God.
Hi,
Don't let it get you.
Kimmy. Hi, everybody. No, it
Look,
doesn't.
try
Let me
not
say
to let
what
it
I'm
get
going to
you that
say.
upset.
That's okay.
Okay.
Let me say what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going
Okay.
to let it be because we don't want to. This is baiting. What this
Yeah.
is rage
Yeah.
baiting,
Yep.
and I'm outraged, and that's okay because there was going to be some backlash for this. We knew it.
Oh yeah.
And just for the record, everybody who asked the question to the mods, we did not know.
No, they didn't.
The question has been asked, and the question has been asked behind the scenes, and it's also been asked in some of the chats. No, we didn't know.
No.
But the
Nope.
integrity that came across with what you had to do to get out here to do this and to continue to acknowledge it has been, it is what it is. We're riding with you because we choose to. But we didn't know, and some of us that knew afterwards, as you stated, had said, let's just not acknowledge this. Let's put it away. And you made the choice to come out and put that out. And I was one of those people who was just like, please, let's just not do this. They're going to bait you. They're going to rage bait you into this.
Yeah, and
So
that was not fair of me to do this without them knowing, and I do want to publicly apologize about that. I have
you
apologized
don't have
behind the scene, but
you don't have to apologize. Any journalist, undercover agent for the FBI, they don't go in undercover to crime related things and then tell all of their friends about it
right,
for reasons,
right,
whatever reasons they were. Shaker Maker said Debs is a big standard, or it says bog, but standard typical narcissist and cannot handle being wrong in any way. And Miss Jessica suggesting she was dealing with the wrong YouTuber sealed her fate instantly. But it's really because Deb holds the purse strings and the monster needs his mother's cash. Imagine all the times she badmouthed Jen and told him to ditch her and he didn't listen.
I
And go
I
ahead.
don't think that's wrong. I think that's accurate, honestly.
Right. And so Deb's response to that was love it. Not a narcissist. Control freak, yes. I own that. Narcissist, no. To be fair, I was right about Jessica being a troll with her ulterior motives. Up to that point, I don't disagree. Okay.
Right?
Right, Jessica, AKAAS. For her, it was all about money. Well, did you give
That's
her money?
no,
Where
and
did you give him money? Where was the money exchanged? If she's talking about your YouTube channel, it's natural to make money off of your YouTube channel with over 13,500 subscribers. So that's nor here nor there. She'll lie to get it. Typical druggie will use anyone to get their next fix. Now let me finish, Jess, because I know you're going to have a lot to say about this. And then that's where the next thing came up as he was dancing to Jen's music. The platform for abusing Maddie was already in place before Stephan came on the scene. First of
Mhm.
all, let's be absolutely clear. Publicly smearing someone with accusations like druggy, troll, or claiming that they're in it only for the money is low, but it's also defamatory. I'm going to leave that and let it lie. You don't get to cloak any kind of cruelty in your excuse for being a control freak. You're throwing around labels like narcissist and making reckless claims. You really are. Not in just this little place here, but in others' lives. Your motivations or her mental health is not your fucking problem, first of all. You have every right to your own opinion, but you don't have a right to weaponize the platform and degrade Jess for challenging you or disagreeing with you. So I want to talk about what this really is. We call this control because you lost it.
Right.
Jessica didn't fall in line. You didn't serve the narrative she was pushing.
And
And that
I don't.
shatters her illusion of control. That's why. Yeah. She's trying to cling to that. So instead of addressing things privately or maturely or emailing Jessica as your son did, you turn to slander and insinuation on a public platform and expect not to be addressed. Jessica stood on the integrity, and no amount of deflection or projection from you is going to change that fact. And the entire display that you're showing shows far more about you than it ever will about Jess and the fact she owned up to the bullshit she did. And it was bullshit, and it is what it is. This isn't about money. It's about manipulation. And your audience, I think, has already been smart enough to see it for the most part. But if there's one thing that we could all learn from this, I think when people show you that they won't tolerate being bullied and it's not a personal attack, it's a boundary, we need to respect it. So stop, go on somebody else's page, start your drama over there because we said we don't want to be pulled into it. But I'm not just
I
going to sit here and lie down. I'm sorry.
No, I have some things to say too. First of all, if it was all about money, I would have dropped emails when he first talked about Jen, when he talks about the TBI, when he talked about the judge and the lawyers the first time he went to court. If it was about money, I didn't drop any emails until I asked him if I could give the emails to an alleged YouTube creator, and he said yes. That was when I dropped the first email. If it had been about money, when I had the ability to drop emails that were related to what was going on at that time period, I would have dropped them then. But you're also giving emails to a YouTuber to drop on their page that is putting everything out. And if we really want to go there, that those are emails between a mother and her son. that you're putting out here on public display. That's completely different than him emailing somebody he has no idea who it is who could allegedly be a YouTuber. There's a whole lot more emotion involved between mother and son than there is between him and some alleged person he's writing because he's fucking bored in jail. Number one. Number two, the druggy comment, I can promise you, number one, on a daily basis, I go through and do more things than you have ever done in your life. And if you want to go there with me about being a druggie, I promise you, I have seen and conquered more shit than you can dream of. So don't fucking go there with me. And I'll leave that at that. If I told y'all my life, oh my God, I would probably
Well,
have people crying. But I'm not
there's
like
a reason that certain people are tuning in, and there's a reason that we're getting trolls, and that's okay. We're going to deal with that as it comes. This is the last time I want to talk about DEB Stearns in aspect of responding to Jessica, because we were not afforded the opportunity to speak to, well, I say we as if it's me, right? You were not afforded the opportunity to speak directly to Deb about what was going on between you and Stephan. She took that to another channel who took that live a long time before you came out and said it was you.
yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't bring that up to YouTube. That was brought up to YouTube by Deb and the other channel that put that out publicly. So, in all reality, who's trying to make a mockery of their son?
I
Who's
mean,
trying to make a mockery of the case that hasn't gone to court yet? And who's trying to push him into a plea deal and make nice with a person who put his member in an 8-year-old little girl's mouth and told her, why don't you put this in here and I'll let you watch cartoons? Miss me with your fuck shit.
yeah. Jesus.
Fuck out of here.
Yep.
Excuse my language. You guys have a good rest of your day. My apologies for breaking in again,
Nope, you're good. You're good.
doing the drive-bys, and it is a lot of drama.
It
It is a
is.
lot of drama, Lori. But this is it. That's it.
Yeah, we're
I'm
done
not
with it.
yeah. It's rage baiting for a reason. And yeah. I love your face. I love your
Love your
chat.
face.
Lorianne, it's done. I just
Yeah, we're done.
this is not what we're about.
Right.
She screwed up. She said she screwed up. What is it? She screwed up, dude.
Yeah, I
Back
shouldn't
off of
even.
her channel.
Yeah, it's okay though. It is what it is. I mean, and I fed into it for a minute, but I'm not gonna feed into it anymore. Have
Yeah,
fun
well,
on the
I did.
comments.
Like I said, it's rage baiting, and that's why I said it's rage baiting. I wanted to say what I needed to say. We're gonna back out of it and let it be, because at the end of the day, we can't change the narrative that they're pushing on another channel, and we're not going to. We're not going to be able to. And there are
Right.
people that are going to judge you, and that's fine. Let them
Yeah.
judge you. Let
I've
them
been
judge you.
judged most of my
I,
life.
we got your back. We got your back when you need it, and that's not one of those parasocial relationships. I got you until I don't got you things.
Right.
All right. Bye,
Hio,
chat.
Donna said that she freaking loves you. I'm gonna send you
Donna
that.
Barkley, I love you too. I freaking love you too. I love you all. And
All right.
Lorianne, please forgive me, Lorianne. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Anyway,
good. I did it
all
too. You're fine, sweetheart.
right, let's go back.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let's get to the emails. Yeah, Hio, when she comes up, I just listen. Thank you, Donna. I will get that over to her. I've actually got to send her some tomatoes from the garden. Okay, so we're gonna get out of that. So that was what was said. It's interesting that she did comment, but yeah, I don't talk about Lord of Mercy. I could go God Almighty, but we're gonna leave it alone. All righty, let's get back to the emails. I'm sorry. I apologize for missing a lot of your comments. I was listening and trying to catch everything and listening to what Hio was saying. Thank you, Nessa. I respect you too, sweetheart. His mom allows the other creator to feed off her. I think they feed off each other. I do too. Lucy said, Deb gives me the worst vibes. She's even made that poor baby sleep with her. If I had to sleep next to Deb, I'd be terrified all night. To be fair, that was protecting her. Lily Gal, I saw that you came in. It's good to see you. She said, Hio, get him, baby. Ignorance will exist. My back, no ignorance. Well, because my front won't give it air. I love that. I love that. Thank you for coming up, Hio. All right, I'm going to continue with the email. Okay. So I said after that, it's sweet that the author's son finished writing the book for him. I'm going to have to look those books up so I have a better understanding of what they are about. Coffee was my favorite too. I also like the peanut butter LOL. So that's talking about gel. I mean, obviously, I personally don't drink milk, so we would get milk in there, but like I don't drink milk, so yeah, I drink a lot of coffee. I love peanut butter. I really do love peanut butter. I literally like I'll get vanilla ice cream and a jar of peanut butter and like eat my ice cream with peanut butter. Like, I get, like, the peanut butter ripple stuff sometimes, but I don't like that. I also sometimes get, like, vanilla ice cream and there's, like, this Reese's stuff that you can put on it. It's, like, by the Magic Shell stuff, and I'll get, like, 2 bottles of that and, like, vanilla ice cream, and I'll just eat it. I don't know. I have this insane love for peanut butter. I said they had Nutty Bars and cornflake candy where I was, and those were great too. I saw girls snort that instant coffee. I did. Some girls would snort instant coffee, and I think that's more of a psychological thing, right? Because if you're used to snorting substances and then you are in jail, so you can't snort substances anymore, snorting anything is probably going to feed that psychological need to snort something. So I think that's more so what it was about. But I was like, y'all are crazy. Y'all gonna damn get cancer of the brain or something doing that shit. Hannah, thank you. Yes, justice for Maddie. Sandra said, "You sound like my son. He does the same thing, peanut butter and ice cream." Really? I thought I was the only one. That's amazing. You like making your own magic shell. I just saw a video on how to make your own magic shell. It was just like melted like milk chocolate with coconut oil. And I've got those things. I need to get some chocolate. Like, we're gonna be playing with food in here. My daughter, earlier today, she made some macaroni and cheese, and she wanted, like, the fried macaroni and cheese balls that, like, it's actually little triangles. They have it sheets, and she actually made them like, with flour and stuff. It was really cute. They were good too. Lily Gal said, "Hio, you got me grinning because it doesn't take much to light my fuse either. Fools and I ain't friends." She's very protective, and I'm protective over her too. I love her very much. Please, she literally said it was Maddie's time in regards to her son unaliving her. She is sick, and no one protected that angel. I try to show her the benefit of the doubt because, like, nobody wants to raise a pedophile, and I don't think anybody ever intentionally sets out and says, my son's going to be a pedophile. But, there is some kind of, I mean, I'm glad she recognizes the control of it, but again, I'm going to try to leave that at that. My daughter loves peanut butter malts. I have heard of malts, but I've never had one. I need to try one. The ritual of snorting is hard for some to give up. Peanut butter and dill pickles is excellent. I've never had that. That's interesting. I might have to try that. I have fried pickles. Hey, Sue Joy. No matter what, Stephan Sterns is guilty as hell, gin or no gin. She also is guilty in my eyes. I think that both are guilty, honestly. And I think both need to account for what they've done. Overnight oats. Oh, I've seen how to make those, but I haven't made any. State of Florida might determine that it's Stephan's time. Amen to that. Hey, Lily Sunshine. Just with malt powder. Yeah, I don't know what malt powder is, but I don't like them little malt balls. All right, I'm going to get back to the email. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, I said, seriously, I was like, that's horrible. Y'all are weird. LOL. That really happened when I was in jail. I drank mine black too, but sometimes I use that creamer. I don't drink it black now, but I do drink coffee like all day, every day. I was doing a lot outside this morning. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I went to get the rest of the blackberries because I want to make a blackberry pie. So I'm drinking a soda right now, but my coffee pot is on. Like, I'm constantly drinking coffee. What was that? Are you brushing your hair with a toothbrush? Okay. Sorry. So, yeah, oh, it was a rooster. It sounded like a car alarm. Okay. That creamer in jail, you can light it on fire. It's weird. So I didn't use that. I drank it black. And the excuse, yeah, I agree. Hey, Vero, and I saw No drive safely. No, you okay? Where are you going? Can't chat while I'm driving. You're good, sweetheart. Please don't. Stay safe out there. It's a dingle hopper. It's a dingle hopper. That's what you're using. A dingle hopper from The Little Mermaid. You're putting the red in your hair? Okay. She's got red stuff she's putting in her hair. That makes amazing yogurt bowls. That's interesting. I have a coffee bar in my house. I can't make any kind of coffee. I can make any kind of coffee your little heart desires. I'm a coffee freak. I love coffee. You're good. Hey, Nene Nut. You're good, Vera. You got here right when you were supposed to be here. I need to make mayo from scratch. Okay. I drink mine black too, but sometimes I use that creamer. It doesn't dissolve though. I like the hard candies too. We would make the fruit balls. We would take the fruit balls and throw them on the floor in the packets to break them up into small pieces and flavor the water. So yeah, we can talk about that for a second. So in jail, there's nothing to do but eat, watch TV, and play spades. And that's if you're in a day room with a bunch of people. So the commissary goes quickly, right? Because a lot of people are, coming off substances. You won't eat for until you're done detoxing. But after that, you eat a lot. Also, I'm sure you guys know if you stop smoking, you eat more, you gain weight. So like hard candies and stuff in there, they would go quick. If you got a bag of Jolly Ranchers from Canteen, if you weren't careful, they'd be gone that day. Indy, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the super chat. And also, again, thank you, Donna, as well. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that, y'all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That was so kind of you guys. Thank you, Indy. That was so sweet. Tom, what did Tom say? My chat jumped. Don't consume anything that's flammable. Right, exactly. That's what words to live by. So, Anna, if you are hearing this now, yes, I talked to Stephan Sterns through emails, and that's what we're going through. Okay. So yeah, if you weren't careful, all of your hard candy would be gone. And like hard candy helps you stop smoking. And all you have to drink is water in there. You might get a juice with your lunch. In the morning, you would get milk. In the evening, it's like water or like this juice that they made. But like that juice is like clear and it tastes like Kool-Aid. And it would always I'm very prone. I'm not trying to get too personal here, but I was always I have very sensitive kidneys. So it would make me feel like I had a bladder infection every time I drank that damn Kool-Aid shit they made. So I was stuck with water. So we would get the fruit ball, like the cheapest candy we could get. And we would like the floor is concrete. And so we would keep them in the packet, usually them hard balls that were like jawbreakers. And we would throw them and smash them on the floor and it'd shatter into a bunch of pieces. And then you could take like a quarter of the smashed pieces and put it in your cup of water. And your cup of water would have a little bit of flavor, like putting lemon in your water or something. And so it made it a little bit better. And it was a way to make it last longer. Some people would put a whole Jolly Rancher in there, but we would pick and say, oh, you got money. They'd be putting a whole Jolly Rancher in one cup of water because everything was so expensive. All right, continuing with the email. Soups are good too. We would all buy stuff to throw in, and like every other night, we would throw in on burritos. So, yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of times, people will buy, like, it'll be okay, this week you buy 7 packs of ramens, and you buy 3 summer sausages, you buy 4 packs of cheese, you buy 3 packs of tortillas. I mean, you buy, whatever, 6 packs of chili, and then we would make these big, huge burritos. And if you had what you were supposed to have to throw in, then you would throw in whatever you had. And then we'd had one girl, it was a trustee who had been there, one of the girls who had a bad charge and was there for like, I think she had been there 2 years at that point. She knew how to make them really good. And so she would make them, and then we would use the like back part of our little sporks that we got in there, and she would cut it into however many pieces of whoever was eating it, and we would sit there at night and play spades and eat it. Don't eat yellow snow. Absolutely not. I adore you, Indy. Thank you. I adore our community. We have a really great community. Thank you guys. So, yeah, that would happen, and then we'd sit there and play spades and eat our little piece of burrito, and it was good because you get dinner at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and you're up till like 10 o'clock playing spades, and so, you get hungry. I continued. There were tortilla wraps, ramen noodles, summer sausage, and it says the spick. I don't know why it says that. I don't know why my spell check did that. Again, I wasn't. It's supposed to be spicy, SPICY, but it put K. It was a typo. So, and the spicy chili with beans and cheese sauce. Um, I hate that it put that because that's horrific. I wasn't paying attention, but I know I didn't put that word in there because that word's not in my vocabulary. It's supposed to be spicy. They were really good. We would also get honey buns and hot chocolate powder. Those were good. So we would get honey buns and hot chocolate powder and just add a tad of water to the hot chocolate to make a syrup. Those were really good. We would set peanut butter in the windowsill or just rub the packs in our hands until it melted and put the chocolate syrup and peanut butter on the honey buns for birthday cake. So if it was somebody's birthday, we would make them a birthday cake, and that's what it was. At this point, I'm trying to prove to him that I had been in jail, give him some ideas on, some of the foods that we ate in there, just to try to, again, seem like a person to talk to, a person that gives a shit undercover, because I don't give a shit, and I hope he rots in hell. But again, just trying to be relatable, knowledgeable, all to make him want to continue to talk to me. And after that, I wrote just some thoughts on ways to make better food in there. Have you watched any of the educational stuff through Khan Academy? They didn't have tablets there when I was in trouble. Well, not there. Okay, hold on. They didn't have tablets there when I was in trouble. Well, not there. I got in trouble in North Carolina, but I think that's a great idea to have a way to gain some education. I'm glad Khan partnered with them if they did. Having a radio is nice. I would love that. I mean, at least you have music. I don't think I could get into K-pop no matter how good the harmonies or vocals were, but maybe. We talked about K-pop. I think it's very odd that he's into K-pop considering that it shows I think it's from Korea, but I could be wrong about that. But they're in like little short skirts, Korean girls, Asian girls. I'll say that. I'm not trying to upset anybody or culturalize anybody. Um, I think that's really odd. Like, I don't know. I think it to me that would be like listening to Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. Like, I definitely, absolutely not as an adult. Absolutely not. Like, that's weird to me that he likes K-pop. I'm sorry, it is. Um, Talk radio is interesting sometimes. Have you heard anything interesting on News Junkies? Now, I wanted to know if he had heard anybody talking about him, because keep in mind, this is a big case, and I'm sure they talk about it on the radio, especially in that area, right? So that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. South Korea, thank you for that. Yeah, K-pop is this new thing. I only know about it because of my children. I said, is Monsters like the morning show? Those are always good. To answer your question, yes, I was in a housing dorm. I went to 4 different jails over time. I was addicted to heroin, and to make money to buy it, I would boost. Basically, me and my boyfriend at the time would go into Walmart separately, and I would put expensive things in the cart and walk out the door with it. We would then sell it for half price to people we knew and then go buy the substances we need. That is all true. That's what I did. That's what my charges are related to, larceny. I never got a felony. I always kept it under $1,000. But yeah, basically, I would dress up really nice and put makeup on and all that. I would walk into Walmart. I would get KitchenAid mixers was a big thing. Things specifically asked for Lowe's, like diamond tip tool bits was another thing we would get. If we were having like if if I was sick and needed to get what I needed to get to keep me from being sick, we would go in Food Lion and like grocery stores and get steaks and laundry detergent and walk out the door. Um, and then we would go get what we needed. And usually in the afternoon, we would go and do the Walmart stuff. Usually during like Sunday, horribly enough, Sundays after church. In the evenings when it's busy. Anyway, that's when we would do that. I didn't realize that I've never stolen from a person. That just, I could never do that because I'm like, somebody worked hard and bought that and paid for that with their hard earned money. I'm not going to steal from them. I said, Walmart has insurance to pay for the items that I take. So therefore, it's not going to hurt them. It's a multi-million-dollar company. I don't think me taking a freaking KitchenAid mixer here and there would hurt them. Little did I know that it actually does hurt people, because if they have an area that where theft is more prevalent, prices are higher to make up for what is taken out of the store that isn't paid for. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kimmy C123. Try this again. Take my money. Love you. I love you too. I don't want to take your money. But thank you for that. That was so very sweet of you. And I really appreciate that. Hey, Granny. I can never say your name. I've been in the bushes listening while cleaning and such. I was shocked to hear someone pretended to be allegedly. Oh, are you talking about on Eddie's? Oh, you're talking about Hio. I'm sorry. I misread the first part. So Hio, I can never say your name. I've been listening in the bushes while cleaning and such. I was shocked to hear someone pretended to be allegedly. That's interesting. Thank you. It's good to see you and know that you were watching from the bushes. That's why I welcome felons. We aren't our past. Yes. Yes. Um yeah, I don't know. I don't talk about it much, but yeah, I do have an extensive past. I wish I didn't do those things. And ironically enough, the times that I did get caught was the times that I was going into Boost while I was sick. If I went in and I was dope sick, I could not play it off. Like I was good. I could walk up to the receipt checkers at the door, talk to them, carry on a conversation with them to the extent of they wouldn't even ask to see my receipt. Like I was really good at it. But if I was sick, hell no. Hell no, I couldn't do it. And I almost always got caught when I was sick. Oh, me. Sorry. Thank you. I apologize. She's saying that you were Jessica. She isn't caught up. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. The end of your last stream, you said something about someone writing him pretending to be you, right? Yeah. So yeah, it was me. And then a lot of people I was saying, yeah, I came out first and said someone was pretending to be me. And I apologized for lying to the community because I did. I lied and said someone was like acting like they were me and really liked me and wanted to pretend to be me, and so they were me. And then I came out and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let y'all know, yeah, it was me. I do feel bad about it, but I was just trying to get the story, and I wanted to crush him. I'm sorry, I got confused. I'll be honest, I get a little nervous when you come in here because I have a lot of respect for you, so it makes me a little nervous. I apologize. So I get nervous and all flustered, so I apologize about that. Almost got a ticket the other day. It would have been my only infraction with the law I've ever had. That's awesome. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. You find it funny? Yeah, so that's the story behind my charges and what I got in trouble for. Now, again, I stopped. I've been clean for 10 years now. But yeah, that's what I did. There is extensive arrest, and then I went to jail for like probation violation. I think one time I got in trouble because I had pills in my bra, but that was because I got in trouble for probation violation. And then when I went to dress out to go in the back, there was pills that fell out of my bra, and I was so tore up that I didn't even realize they were there. Like to the extent of the girl that was watching me dress out, the CO, she looked on the floor and went to grab it. And I grabbed it and I said, hold on, I'm just looking at it to see what it is. I'll give it to you. Just wait a second. And she looked at me like I lost my damn mind, because at that point I had, talking to a CO like that. And then I said, okay. And I handed it to her. I was like, I mean, because at that point you've seen it. There ain't no hiding it. Crazy. Anyway, all true stories. I'm definitely not one to sit up here and lie about it, because let me end that story and segment by saying that stuff is not cool. Please don't ever do it. It does not make you look like a badass. It's a very horrible thing. So don't do it. I'm not trying to make myself look like a badass. I regret those things very much, and I wish I had never done them. I wish I didn't have a criminal record. But we learn, we live, and we move on. I'm not a badass. Thank you for asking if everybody hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it if y'all would. Yeah, we have a lot in common. Yes, my name is also Jessica. Abraham said there's nothing wrong with some good Backstreet Boys and NSYNC jams from back in the day. My kids listen to it now and I'm like, please God, stop it. Oh, I can't do it now. I can't do it now. I cannot. All right, continuing with the emails. I would go for probation violation suit. See, like I just told you, do 60 days here and 90 days there. I never committed a felony. I haven't been to trial, but I know you can't talk about it. The girls in there for bigger crimes wouldn't talk about the cases, and it was always very clear to me anyway that you didn't ask about it either. I mean, that's all true. Like I was talking about the girl who made the best burritos in there. She was in there for a bigger case. She told me, the gist of it. But again, just like him, you're not going to sit there and say, oh, I was running drugs up and down the freeway and I was on I-95 and I got caught and I had, 15 ounces in the truck of methamphetamine. Like, you don't do that, because then you get a jailhouse snitch that goes up and testifies against you. You don't talk about your trials. I said, I never share my information, and it was just best practice for that situation anyway. I've been clean for 9 years now. It's like 10, maybe 9 or 10. I got out with no felonies, but only because I was pretty good at it for a while, I suppose. As good as you can be at stealing and being a drug addict. And at the end of the day, that's all it was. As good as you can be at breaking the law and being a really horrible person and being addicted to substances. I've never been to prison. I wanted to reach out to you to get to know you as a person, hopefully one day to get your side of things to help me understand. There is no understanding why he did what he did to Madeline. I just want to reiterate that. And I know I say it over and over, but I want you to understand that I am trying to keep him talking. I'm trying to keep him wanting to carry on communications with me and being comfortable enough with me to admit what he did after trial. Tell me the story. Tell me if Jen knew about it. Tell me why he thought it was okay to play that game with a fucking 9-year-old child and crush him. Hey, Bazzer. Good to see you. I said, I'm curious about a lot of things that we cannot discuss right now. I told you I am honest, and yes, one day I would like to hear. Okay, hold on. One day I would like to hear your story, but we cannot discuss that right now. I also want to get to know you to understand who you are better. Trying to butter him up there, trying to make him feel comfortable enough to talk to me. He was kind of flirty a little bit in the other one, so I'm trying to feed his ego. I want to get to understand who you are better. Again, feeding his ego, just trying to keep him talking. I enjoy writing and having a pen pal of sorts too. I didn't. I did not at this point, but like I keep saying, trying to keep him talking, because again, I referenced the beginning. Sorry, it took me a minute to respond, because by this point, I already didn't want to respond. But I was trying to get the story. It's important for you to keep up your hope and positive thoughts. So if I can help you do that, I wanted to. That again, anytime we talk about hope, positive thoughts, prayers, God, things like that, it's me thinking about what his mother said to him and thinking about their relationship and trying to kind of play off that a little bit. Like I said before, there's always a person behind the headlines that never wanted these things to happen the way they do. I think that he just didn't want to get caught. That's all. I do have sympathy for you. I do not have sympathy for you. But again, keep him talking. But it's because I know this is hard for you. I know it would be nice to have someone to talk to about things that are not really serious. So I thought I would reach out. That is, I want to be the person at this point that he talks to about why he did what he did. I want him to feel comfortable with me, and I want to tell him how much of a piece of shit he is at the end. Hey, Blink Bunny, good to see you. He knows he cut off communication with me. I dropped an email. It's the last video I put out. I dropped an email. He emailed me back and said, "You dropped an email." He basically, I said, I have a YouTube friend that could say only the things you wanted to be said out loud on YouTube if you wanted to do that. He said, yeah, you could say, basically what you said. And I read out, a portion of it. And so I dropped that email. As soon as I dropped that email, I suppose because I dropped the email in its entirety and not just a segment of what he said, he emailed me back and said, my parents are big mad because you evidently already gave the email to the YouTube creator. They said if I continue communication with you, they are going to cut me off. And of course, that's where he's getting his money. That's his support. That's his family. So he's going to choose them. And I wouldn't expect any less. And he said he disconnected from me after that. And so I can't email him back unless he accepted a connection request from me. And I don't think he's going to be doing that with anybody, to be honest. It's a whole long story that we've been talking about for like probably a week. But the last email where he cut me off is in my videos. So if you go to the video section on my channel, that is me reading the last emails. Hold on. Yeah, mommy said I can't talk to strangers, right? Bazard said, yep, that's the best tactic when buddy trolling a target. Say certain things to keep them interested until they say really incriminating things, and then boom, you got this hook, line, and sinker. Right. Right. Okay, Granny. Yeah, you could probably play it on 2x. I talk really fast, so maybe 1.5, but now the last live stream doesn't go over that, but the last video I did is reading that email. It's the last one. I'm going back to the beginning now. Okay, I said, I know about the sunshine laws in Florida. I'm not too worried about it. I will deal with the backlash if these are released. I always planned on releasing them at some point. I know people can see who puts money on your books and who you call. I'm not sure about emails, though. If they're being used in trial, they could be released. But other than that, I'm not sure they would have access to these. Now, at this time, the only emails being released were in the discovery, and that was because they were for discovery. But I think people can buy his emails. I know a lot of Sarah Boone's have been released. So eventually all of these might get out, but I've kind of taken the power back because I dropped them myself. And it's more interesting to hear the emails from the person who wrote them so you can know the thought process, what their intentions were, why they said the things they said, instead of just wondering about it. You know what I mean? But I continued, but if this gets out and people come for me, I'll deal with it. And I will, and I have, like I always do in life. I don't like attention, but if it comes down to it, I can handle it. I do appreciate you talking to me. It's nice to get to know you, and I enjoy these conversations. All of that, again, is just trying to keep him talking. I don't have any questions for you at the moment, and I don't want to keep you waiting, so I will send this back. I hope you'll also write back. I know I laid a lot on you. Hopefully, I don't scare you away. Hope to hear from you soon. So that I know I laid a lot on you. Hopefully, I don't scare you away. It's talking about where I was talking about boosting and that I used to be addicted to heroin and all of those things. So that one again was sent Tuesday, April 8th of 2025 at 6:57. Now we're going to see what he said. See here, it says you are not currently connected with anyone to send messages to. You will need to connect with an inmate before you can send or receive messages. That one was the 8th. Right here is his response. That was the very next day. So that one was sent the 8th at 7:30. So about 24 hours later, maybe 30. Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. No, 10:23 a.m. I thought it was p.m. So he got up and wrote me back, probably right when he got the tablet. So that shows that he's getting interested and wanting to write back. Oh, Crystal, yeah, congratulations on your sobriety. And anybody else going through that or has been through that, congratulations. I applaud you. It's not an easy thing to do. Oh my goodness. Hey Boomer. And Abellis just gifted 10 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wow, that was amazing. Hold on, I gotta scroll. Wait. There we go. Okay. Those went to Farm Girl, Jamie Kasai, Sammy Quirky Memories, Rachel, Amy55, Robert Owen, Misfit, Darla Smith, Crochet and Crime, and T. Ty. If you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet. I'm going to grab the Polar Express for y'all. Thank you, Abellis. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Abellis. Crochet and Crimes. I know, I almost named my channel something to do with Crochet and Crimes. Granny's watching? Oh, let me show you. So I do enjoy drama from time to time. Granny's Watching was involved in litigation. Somebody brought litigation against her unfairly and unrighteously comes to mind. Hold on. I'll grab her link too. She also does true crime though. This is Granny's Watching. See, she just talked about Seth Rogers rages and cries on last stream. The few green team stragglers left sweep for him. I'm gonna grab her link real quick. So I watch her. I watch like all the stuff she does. I really enjoy her. She's very down to earth, very knowledgeable about a lot of things. I really like. I watch her a lot actually. How do I? There. Okay. But she does like true crime and she also does some of the drama stuff too. And I enjoy it very much. I participate in her chat as well. There is her link if you guys want to check her out. And that email I was talking about for her or anybody watching would be this one. So in the video section, it says Sterns Pen Pal, email me. In this email from July 7th, 2025, Sterns shares his thoughts on, and at that time, I was still not saying that it was me. So in that video, it says allegedly Jessica, but it was me, as we now know. I think I put that out like a day or two before I came out and confessed. I've been getting a bit more distracted by drama, but I'm getting back into the true crime, I promise. Well, it's hard not to. I mean, you were dragged into it. Without even, I mean, I think you have every right because you were dragged into a frivolous litigation for absolutely no fucking reason at all. So stupid. I hate that shit. Like, it really pisses me off, the RICO. It really does because that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And then you have to shell out all this freaking money for an attorney to fight like your mortal enemy online that's just ignorant as fuck. But I'm going to leave that there because I said I wasn't going to talk about drama no more. So she does a lot of true crime and she does a really good job at it too. You were watching the video, saw the comment and jaw drop. Oh yeah. Yeah. My jaw dropped too, to be honest. Rico for covering similar. Oh my goodness. It sounds so stupid. Rico for covering similar topics as others. Yikes. Yeah. just for coming out here and doing what so many of us do, talking about true crime cases. You get involved, not get involved, but accused of RICO for going up on somebody's panel. It was a whole big thing. Like, y'all, it's insane. Y'all should look into it because it'll make you mad. Yeah, I need to stop talking about drama. Okay. So this is his reply, and it is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025 at 10:23 a.m. He says, "Hey, Jessica, that is so true about time seeming to pause on the inside. Intellectually, I know time has not stopped, and I'm about to spend a second birthday in this place, which sucks. But it does feel like life has been put on hold, and I just keep hearing about everything out there without me and all the things I'm missing out on." Now, I'm going to pause right there and say, I think it is going to serve every birthday that he has from here on out in jail or prison. I hope he does. And, I mean, you're concerned about your second birthday in jail, but you murdered Maddie the day after her 13th birthday party. You know what I mean? Hey, Crunchy Frog. Abraham, oh my goodness. Thank you for gifting 10 memberships. That was so sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. If you were gifted from Abraham, oh, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Cozy Mind, Miss Up, Willow's Trials and True Crime, Teresa Clay, Janet Kluman, Trial Obsessed, Margaret Wartime, Becky G, Alexandria, Alexia Felthius, and Linda Lee were gifted. If you were gifted from Abraham and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abraham thank you. Thank you, Abraham. I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Abraham. That was so very sweet of you. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Yes, thank you guys for gifted memberships. I am going to put out a video, like I said earlier, about my morning routine with the goats and the geese and all the things. Yes, I am Jessica the Pen Pal, guilty as charged. Hannah said, Maddie will never get another fucking birthday. Go all the way with your sadness over yours, you parasite. Yep. Let's hop on that crazy train. Let's get on the crazy train. Roll right on out of here. All right. But it does, okay. And I think the only things he's hearing about is the poodles, which, to be honest, I don't think he ever really cared about the poodles. I think he's just trying to keep mommy talking and keep the money flowing, if I had to guess. Yes, the gel pens really do suck, so I have no clue if anything will come from trying to learn to draw. You use the tools you have, but at a certain point, if you only have the one tool, it could hold you back a bit. I guess I'll see what happens. I never read much manga. I never read much manga before either, but I've watched various anime series. No doubt. I bet you he could tell me every character in every anime series there ever was made, especially ones made in Korea or Japan. I think it's Sunflower May, good to see you. I think it's the culture that's around anime and all of that that he was more obsessed with, not necessarily the anime, but that's me psychoanalyzing somebody, and I have no training in that, so do with that what you will. He continues, and most of those are based on the manga books, so it seems like a nice way to get a little bit of that back again, and is at least more visually entertaining than a standard novel. So, I mean, you'd rather look at comic books instead of reading a book. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? His parents are elderly, so his money train won't last out his prison sentence. Then what's he going to do? Just saying. Hopefully get an inheritance of some sort, evidently. Roxanne, thank you for being 97 on the thumbs up. Good to see you. Thanks to who donated my membership. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for saying thank you, Sammy Quirky Memories. Yeah, that's my perfect definition of him talking about the poodles. He continues, that Jaws theme still makes my heart rate spike a little bit when I hear it. Absolutely iconic. But there are things in that movie that were different and better than the book for sure. But for most franchises, I would always recommend the book. There are some cases of really great books that had terrible movies made that ruined the series or drove away some of the fan base. Like Aragon. I'm still not over that one. Ugh. I don't know. We looked up Aragon when we went over this the first time when I was pretending to be someone else. There are unreleased emails, by the way, that we will get into when we get to that point. So there's Aragon. And I guess the movie was released in 2006. And it was, that talks about the book. Okay, I might have to cut this part out, but we can watch the trailer for the movie. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the book, but we'll look at this real quick.
Our beautiful lands have been ravaged by a ruthless king. And our people live under the shadow of tyranny.
As long as I am king, disloyalty will be punishable by death.
I have to pause it. I mean, it don't look that bad, but I've never read the book or been into any of this.
There is no one left for you to fear, my king.
It wasn't always like that.
It is 20th Century Fox.
There was a time when the world lived in peace, protected by warriors astride mighty dragons. They are nothing but stories now. All we have is hope that a dragon will be born again, and one will rise.
Okay, so of course it's got the person who is the unexpected hero of the story, the boy that nobody ever looked at before that somehow becomes a martyr and a hero of every situation. The boy that was shy in the corner that didn't really talk to many people and becomes the martyr. That's him in his eyes. This is going to be Stephan in Stephan's eyes, allegedly speculating on the psychology behind that monster.
To lead us to freedom.
I won what was stolen from me.
Oh, of course, there's a girl that's tied up. Who didn't see that coming?
Without it, I'm vulnerable.
Your day will come too, Aragon, and you will decide for yourself the kind of life you wish to lead.
You're the only one who can save us.
Oh, of course we've got a girl. You're the only one who can save me, and you're just so handsome, and I want to marry you and have children with you, and you're my savior.
I know your story is true.
You're the next dragon rider.
When they learn that the legend is real, they will challenge me.
The king won't rest until your dragon is killed.
All right, we get the point. Typical savior complex. Save the girl, save the town, ride the dragon. Kind of sounds like a Metallica song. Ride the dragon. What am I thinking about? Ride the lightning. That's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, typical savior complex for Stephan Sterns. What did Boomer say? Woo-dee-doo. I understand his parents supporting his son, but they should think about what he did. He just didn't snap. He took pictures and videos for years and years, for fuck's sake, and needs to grow up and face consequences. I agree. Aragon is a region of Spain. Really? Lily Gal said, after it came out that some of the materials he had not containing Maddie, but involved bestiality, any signs of love of animals from him makes me rage-filled. I didn't even think about that. There was, and I have looked for that paper. I had the document on one of my early live streams that showed the court document that showed that on that USB drive there was bestiality involving children. I apologize. That was a late trigger warning, but trigger warning. And I can't find that paper now, but I do remember that. Do you think Sterns just appear? I think he tries to appear quirky, but fails miserably. Tinfoil hat is always tight. It makes me giggle. Think so. I'm sure he sees himself as a hero in all storybooks. I think he does. Thank you, Nightbot, for the trigger warning. All right. Continuing on. That's funny about the tape recorder by the TV. You do what you got to do, though. Yeah, watching MTV all afternoon or waiting till later and sneaking in some episodes of Beavis and Butthead or Aeon Flux. I don't know what Aeon Flux is. And finding random marathons of old Godzilla movies. I never watched old Godzilla movies. I did watch Beavis and Butthead, but not that much. But I mean, even him talking about sneaking in some episodes of Beavis and Butthead tells you how his mother was. Like, oh, you're watching Beavis and Butthead? Hell no. Hell no, not in my house. Tom said, you got to be kidding me. Florida, fire up Old Sparky today for Stephan Sterns. Aeon Flux is a film. Okay. All right. The 90s had some great TV, great toys, and snacks too. I remember Planters had these cookies they made called peanut butter crisp. They were these crispy and flaky cookie shells filled with sweet peanut butter cream filling, and they were my favorite. And then they just stopped making them, and it stole a little bit of the joy from my world, in my opinion. There's a lot of snacks that they stopped making, but I mean, we're just making small talk. Yes, Napster definitely changed things. I had so many burned CDs. Did you ever do the thing where you rig your CD player to run while the lid is open and then use colored markers to decorate the CDs with concentric circles while they were spinning? That was always fun. I never did that. It's funny you should mention drinking from the hose. Just yesterday, yeah, this part was always weird. Just yesterday, I was drinking the quote juice they give you with food trays and thought to myself, it tasted like they made this batch with water from a hose because it had that distinct hose flavor under the juice flavoring. I don't think that Stephan Sterns was ever like, he doesn't seem like the person ever to be told to just get a drink of water from the water hose, in my opinion. I don't think his mom would have let him drink from the hose. I think he's trying to appear more relatable and to manipulate me at that point by being like, "Oh yeah, I can relate." And I'm going to give you this long drawn out story about how I didn't really mention drinking from the hose. I talk about the water hose having this distinct flavoring that tasted like the juice that we have in here. That's weird to me. Charlie Theron played her in the movie. Aeon Flux was an adult cartoon that used to come on after Beavis and Butthead. She was like a spy. Interesting. He is Butthead. Okay. And then I wondered to myself how many of the younger generation would have even been able to identify that taste these days. See, again, I just think he's trying to appear relatable. To answer your question about the Warhammer minis, yes, you can choose your own colors or you can paint them according to existing examples from the various in-universe factions, which is what I typically did. But even in doing that, I apparently have a distinctive style to my painting according to commenters online. Because you guys know he was posting pictures of them damn Warhammer figurines on Reddit. I can pull up the video now if you guys need a reference of where he took pictures of all the Warhammer figurines that he painted because he was just so damn proud of that. He had to share it with everybody. Also, he was so damn proud that he had to get on Reddit and get on teen forums talking about fucking pregnancy, being a teenager, and giving them advice. Don't forget that. Pause for us, I don't know, mental image, I guess. I used to post the finished minis online in the Warhammers. Okay. I used to post the finished minis online in the Warhammer and mini painting Reddits and share my methods and whatnot. He definitely did that, but I think it was to feed his ego to have people be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. You did a really good job at that. I need to do that. I want to do that. Tell me how you did it, which of course is going to give him a hit of dopamine every time he gets a compliment, which is common in the community. I don't know exactly what they meant or what made my specific methods or styles distinctive, but I guess even among some of my gamer groups, I was considered pretty good. Like, I mean, okay, if you didn't know exactly what they meant or what made his specific methods or styles distinctive, Why did you keep taking so many freaking pictures of it and posting? Again, I mean, just for reference, I suppose we'll pull that up real quick. But like these pictures that we did get in the video are a few pictures that were on the cell phones, right? Like there's maybe 20 or 30 from each cell phone, and like all of his were the Warhammer figurines. Hold on, I'm looking. Let me go ahead and share this so you guys can see. There. There we go. I'm going to speed it up to like 3x. Ah! I mean, all of it is them fucking Warhammer figurines. And you know he's posting that shit on Reddit. So again, I think it's all to feed his ego and to get that hit of dopamine. And there's, of course, the picture of Maddie holding up the Warhammer figurine that's glued to the top of the water bottle. Wait a minute. I haven't noticed that before. It says you can't do it freehand. I can and I will, from that show where it had Norman Bates, but he was like an autistic doctor. And it says, this isn't a time for showing off. Strange. And then he put in a picture of him painting a Warhammer figurine. See, that just, again, goes directly to what I was just saying. I was literally just saying. I need to go get my coffee. Carr said, yeah, I know you've played Warhammer, so maybe you can give me some insight on it. I've played Warhammer. I've had several armies for Warhammer Fantasy and 40K. I'm a gamer nerd. So do you think, while I'm going to ask this question, the good doctor, thank you, Granny's watching, the good doctor, I appreciate that. Do you think he's talking about these Warhammer figurines and sharing them to this extent because he wants to feel good about himself, or is that normal in that community? I'm going to grab my coffee real quick while I let this play. I can turn on the volume. It's going to be an interview, but it's probably going to be really fast. Let me slow it back down while I grab my coffee.
Okay. Missing at the park near her school? Is that what?
She was reported missing from
school. From school.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, when they said park, I said, why would they drop her off at the park? They usually take her to the school. You know what I mean? At least that's what I'm assuming they do every morning. They take her right to the school and pick her up and bring her back.
Yeah, bring her back from school. Yeah.
And you told me earlier that was usually.
Yep, and
all the times we see her was.
He goes out in the morning with her, and then sometimes we're not always here. But then at 8, I don't know what time school gets up fairly early. Anyway, so she comes back with her.
4:30, running.
Oh no, it's earlier than that.
Earlier than that when she brings her home.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you last saw her walking the dog, was that a weeknight, a school night, or was it a weekend?
Last weekend, but I'm not sure.
Could have been on the
weekend.
Which was
unusual because usually she doesn't.
It's unusual for her to walk the dog.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual. That's why when I was sitting there, I thought, oh, she's walking the dog. So, but yeah, and she came back with the dog.
Yeah.
And went back in with it. Oh.
And that was in the afternoon, you said earlier?
Yeah. On the weekend.
Okay, I'm back. I thought I didn't have volume there for a minute. So let me see. I'm a gamer nerd. I feel like Stephan Sterns' life was empty and he couldn't fit in anywhere, so he just made all this crap up. That's a good theory there, MK Connecticut. I agree. Carr said, I think he may have painted some figures, but he 100% did not play. Warhammer games take hours to play. Even the skirmishes take a few hours to play. You play Bejeweled? Cuban Dolly. I think he never grew up, failure to thrive, and the childish toys and immaturity makes him the perfect predator. I agree with that. Carr said the rules are extremely confusing because of all the different phases. I agree with that. Absolutely. I definitely would not even be able to have time to sit down and try to figure all that out. Farm Girl, I was just gifted via YouTube notifications. I received a gift. Whoever it was that gifted me, thank you for your kindness. I wasn't even online, so I'm appreciative. That's amazing. Thank you for saying thank you. Hold on. Abraham said, in all honesty, it does take skill and patience to paint those things, and they are very well executed. But man, that was your only skill as a grown adult, almost 40 years old. Yeah. He didn't work a majority of the time, so plenty of time to play. I agree with that. Hannah said, I like building Harry Potter and Star Wars, Lego, and video games, although I haven't built Lego in a while and I need more space in my house. So yeah, I mean, I have like, I crochet, I do my medicinal herbs and things like that, but like I don't have all the time in the world to do it. Working people usually don't, or people who have, I in particular do research for these things. Not right now, obviously. I didn't really have to research writing an email, but um, homeschooling and all of that, you don't have time for a lot of things. But I mean, I guess if you're interested in it, I get really into herbs and things and make soap and salves and things. And the garden right now is crazy. He did work though. He did work at Disney somewhat and seemed to really like that job. We can all speculate as to why, unfortunately. Boomer said Steve Young stopped talking to Stephan Sterns because Stephan Sterns had to prove he could beat him at a game. Oh, so there goes that ego. And that would be weird. Like you're going to hang out with your alleged girlfriend's ex-husband, so you're going to feel like you need to prove something. Seems like typical Stephan Sterns. To be honest, I think those miniatures are kind of cool. I like models. A friend is into that hobby, but he's no pedo. Yeah. Oh, wow. Y'all, that short Disney job came to mind, and it was like, laugh, you're right. Yeah. It wasn't very long, but I think the only reason he was good at that is because, unfortunately, there were small children around. I think it was on the Reddit post that he references, if someone's dressed as a princess, you treat them like a princess. Now, who's going to be at Disney dressed up as a little princess? I mean, I'm sure we can all figure out, right? I'm sure he loved hugging those little children and telling them how beautiful they were dressed up as princesses. Makes me sick. All right, I'm going to continue with the email. And I even did some paid commissions. I also gave some pretty sweet paint jobs to the newer Tamagotchis, and we saw pictures of that. He painted Maddie's. Again, that's on all the Reddit stuff. And I had a lot of people offering to pay me to paint theirs too, but I could never bring myself to do that. The price I would have to charge them just for it to be worth doing for me didn't feel right. I don't believe that. I think he would have tried to overcharge somebody and been like, well, if you're not going to pay me $500 to paint it, it's not worth my time. I'm not even going to stop, Jessica. I don't think he was interested in doing things for anybody else. I think the Tamagotchis, especially the shells that he painted, was more for Maddie than anybody else. And I'm going to leave that there. Even though paying a decent painter is expected to be pricey, I still feel bad for asking for what is a fair price when you break down the time spent, cost of materials, and skill involved. He continues, it's that you crochet and paint and wood burn. I used to wood burn a little bit when I was younger, but never got very seriously into it. What sort of stuff do you paint? I tend to approach craft the same way you described. I will see something and wonder if I can do it and just try to see. I've done that a lot, and some hobbies stuck with me more than others. I wonder if that's just like an ADD thing to do that with hobbies. I mean, that is an interesting question because I wonder if you guys find yourselves doing that. Like, do you find yourselves looking into certain hobbies and sticking with some above others? Like, you'll try anything, but then you find ones that you're good at and stay with it. To be fair, wood burnings, I mean, now that we have Lord have mercy. My mic came undone. Oh my holy Jeebus. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so sorry about that. I'm done with these damn headphone microphone sets. I'm telling you right now, I'm using my daughter's right now. That is pissing me off. That's the second pair, $200 I've spent on headphone microphone combo. That's like them cat cracking or some shit. Man, I am pissed right now. I'm so sorry. I am so very sorry. Thank you, all of you that are still here. Jesus, that was ridiculous. I'm like pissed off. I'm about to write cracking headphone. Gamer headphones, my ass. So the rest of this is going to suck, the volume, but I'm getting a damn microphone stand or something. I mean, that's the second damn pair. That's ridiculous. The first pair he ate, this pair like came undone right where where it meets the headphone. I am so sorry. Lord have mercy, I'm so sorry. Like legit sorry. Anyway, back to the email. Good gracious. It happens. It happens to everyone. It happens to all devices. It happens to everyday technology. It's not a big deal. We should be used to it by now and just deal with it and move on. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm so sorry. I really am. I cannot apologize enough for that. I sound the same. Really? This is like a $20 headset. But thank you. Yeah, I sincerely apologize. I need to because that's the second damn pair I've bought in like freaking 2 months. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, they're awesome as long as they work, but I need it to work. Hello. Lord of mercy. I did nod off for the record. All right. Now, back to the email. He said, I miss Nintendo 64 as well. It had one of the weirdest controllers, but was cool. You can still get them online, even still in the box for decent enough deals and vintage games to go with it. I miss Super Nintendo too. That was so fun. My friend had one and we would jam out on Super Nintendo and Mountain Dew after school. I don't know, I think he's trying to sound relatable here. I mean, I think we can all remember times when we played Nintendo after school, especially if you had a brother. My older brother, and I would play Nintendo and things like that. Abraham said he was sick for what he did to Maddie and for having all that child material. In my opinion, his interest in all this stuff was genuine and he made no effort to further himself as an adult. I agree with that too. As opposed to legitimate. Okay. And he said, and I had every iteration of Game Boy over the years. I remember when the Game Boy Pocket came out, it seemed so compact and slim. And then, of course, Game Boy Color came out and just blew us all away. I mean, it's always about. I remember his friend saying that it was always about the newest, greatest thing for him. So you can even tell by the way he's talking, like Super Nintendo, then we got to have all the Game Boys, Game Boy Pocket, and then all of the colors. I'm sure he wanted every color there was. Now he's talking about Game Boy Advance was awesome too. I mean, it's just what's the newest, greatest, best thing that I can buy and spend money on that's not even mine or get my parents to buy. I gotta have it so I look like I mean, it's again a facade. Trying to appear to be something you're not. Trying to have the latest, greatest, best thing to feed your ego so you can be popular. But for what? For the things that you contain, for having the best Game Boy as a child. And that tells me again about his mother buying him all of these things and all of these new toys that he gets into and is probably only interested in for a little while. And then he puts it down and wants the next best thing, and she's going to buy it for him. He continues, I might even still have that one in storage somewhere. I miss the Game Boy. Nintendo Switch is amazing, but the Game Boy was just so iconic and more portable. Although running out of the batteries became a crisis when that little battery light came on and you had to quickly figure out what device in the house you could steal batteries out of and get in the least trouble for it. Even now, like with our phones, it's, a crisis if our battery light comes on. Hi, Constance. Good to see you. We played Barbies. Farm Girl said, how many of us remember every damn invention of the things we liked as kids? I couldn't tell you the names of any Barbies or whatever. Right. I don't remember each day. I remember I played Mario on Nintendo, but I mean, that's pretty easy because it was a Nintendo. But other than that, yeah, I don't remember everything that I got and, all the best toys that I got as a kid or anything like that. Absolutely not. I agree. Sandra said, I recall him being homeschooled. I bet his helicopter mom never allowed him to socialize. She bought him toys as his so called friends. That's a good perspective, and I think very possible. You used to love playing with Barbies on the down low, Abraham. That's awesome. You want it, you buy it. So get your lazy ass up and find a fucking job. That would have been my advice to the lazy slacker. I agree. Yeah, the names of things, but not each and every version, right? Hey, Simone, I loved playing Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation. I do remember that. And the snowboarding simulator. Now I build dollhouses. That's amazing, Simone. You keep doing that. Frogger, said Donna. All right. Sandworms definitely do remind me of the movie Tremors, which is actually one of my favorite cheesy monster movies of all time. I wonder why. Jailhouse food recipes are some of the strangest and most inventive things I've ever encountered. And I've heard that some people snort that coffee, and I agree that sounds horrible. Yes, I do watch the educational videos on Khan, mostly just things that interest me, like history, music, and art. I don't think he's interested in history, music, or art at all. I think he's interested in K-pop. He continues, the radio is nice. Yes, Monsters is the morning show and News Junkies follows them, which is mostly like viral news stories. And I've heard some interesting things, certainly, including talk about me, which is a weird experience. Could you imagine being in jail and listening to your radio and hearing them talk about you on the news? Like, I think that would be a weird experience for anybody. Hey, Vanessa. Aw. We all got to work, though. I appreciate you being here and saying hey. Sorry, I'll be honest with you. I try to mute when I light my cigarette, but like it's hard. I find myself smoking so much while I'm live and I don't know what to do about it. Like I really want to stop smoking, but I smoke more when I'm live. And I don't know if it's like I'm nervous because I'm not a people person. Like, I'm not somebody to get out here. I never intended, like, I'm not one of these people that was like, oh, I'm going to make a YouTube channel and be famous. Like, I was interested in this case and I submitted a FOIA request. I got the information. I saw that people wouldn't put out the information without like talking over it, and I was like, somebody needs to put out the information, like just the interview, just drop the interview and let people make their own conclusions. And that's how everything started. So it's odd for me. It feels weird to be on here talking and, actually kind of, I mean, to have 13,000 subscribers, I guess I would be pretty good at it. And so it's hard for me, and I think it makes me nervous, and therefore I smoke more. But if anybody's got any suggestions on how I could cut back on smoking, specifically while I'm live streaming, I would greatly appreciate it. I saw that, what was it? Amanda said that would be weird as fuck. It would be weird as fuck, right? Like, to be fair, they are both, Deb and Stephan, so emotionally infantile. They are. It's a social smoking thing. You think so? You get it? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Bogart. The first time we played Crash was we got a disc from Pizza Hut from her. I think that might be, I remember something like that. That might be how I got it too. Now I vape just as much, really. Thank you. Yeah, I need to get some of those vapes. I might actually try that. I'd look kind of crazy, but I might actually try that. All right, continuing. So here, it's kind of important. I'm going to go back. He said the radio is nice. Yes, Monsters is the morning show, and News Junkies follows them, which is mostly like viral news stories. And I've heard some interesting things, certainly including talking about me, which is a weird experience. I hope my side of things can change some perceptions as well, maybe. So there, I don't know if he was being genuine or if he's just trying to keep my interest, because he knows that the reason I'm writing him is to get his side of things and get his perception and to know what happened in that household and his side of the story. So I don't know if he's saying, I hope my side of things can change some perceptions as well, maybe because he actually intended on telling me that, or if he's just trying to keep me writing him. So he's going to act like he's going to give me information that I want. Because at the end of the day, the whole reason for this to him is like, oh, I've got information that she wants. So I can keep talking to her and string her along for whatever years to come. And he would have. I don't know that he ever would have told me the truth. But again, I'm not one to fall in line or follow the rules or be told what to do or strung along. I'm very defiant, and it wouldn't have worked. But I did want the story. Oh, my Lanta, she said. Oh, my Lanta. He said, congratulations on being clear for 9 years. I'm glad you were able to get away from it. Too many people never have the ability to get off it before it kills them. I've lost friends to it myself, and it was tragic. It was a tragic thing watching that slide happen and trying to talk to them or help them, but they just don't want help and wouldn't listen, and it kills them. I've never touched that stuff myself, though I certainly had my time with some other things in my younger party days. I never got hooked on anything and came out the other side of those days mostly okay. I mean, maybe you didn't do drugs, but you're a fucking pedophile. I think that's worse, honestly. But some of the people in the social circles I partied with were not so lucky. These days, I might have a couple drinks, and I consider myself an advocate for medicinal and recreational marijuana use. Sir, this is me talking. If he's a damn advocate for medicinal marijuana or recreational marijuana use, I don't want him. I don't want him nowhere near that. I don't want him discussing it. I don't want him even talking about it in this email. You stay away from the medicinal and recreational marijuana use and being an advocate for that, because no. We need those things. And if you're advocating for anything, everybody needs to stay the fuck away from it. Some people need marijuana, so I don't want you to advocate for that at all. I think naturally occurring things like that are generally okay in moderation. Even shrooms have their uses for treating depression and other things. But as with everything, moderation is always key. Too much of almost anything becomes a bad thing. What the fuck do you know about that, Stephan Sterns? What sort of music do you listen to? I'm mostly into 80s music and classic rock, especially. See, here, we've already talked about the music I listen to. We talked about Korn. We talked about Slipknot. We talked about me being gothic, Alice in Chains, all of that. And he's asking me again and then saying I'm mostly into 80s music and classic rock, especially, but he's talking about listening to K pop and enjoying it. His fucking vape juice, right, Barrow? So he's trying to manipulate me. You quit smoking using vapes? I have a vape, but I don't use it that often. I need to. When I was in junior high school, they showed us a film of people's lungs who died from lung cancer. Because of that, I've never smoked one in my life. I saw that too. And I wish I'd have listened. Right? He'll ruin it for everybody. Like, stay away from the medicinal marijuana use or recreational. I think he was definitely trying to mirror me. But it's like, why? Like, obviously, I'm going to write to you because I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to quote unquote understand who he was behind all this shit. And he knows I want the story at the end. So why do you feel like you need to mirror me to manipulate me? And again, I go back to our hashtag that I'm going to make a hashtag. Who's manipulating who? Because if I think I'm manipulating him and he's trying to manipulate me, and if he had actually been successful at it, Lord knows, very dangerous territory. Yeah, let's take advice from this guy. Hey, little bit of Lisa. I need to try those fumes. I've seen them. He's the absolute predator. I agree. He said, how about movies? What sort of thing do you do for fun or even just to relax? I hope you don't get backlash for messaging me, but if you feel you can handle the potential for that and you are forewarned and don't mind the risk, then I can respect that. I appreciate you talking to me and have enjoyed these chats as well. I know I tend to write a lot, so apologies for that. I don't mean to overwhelm you with a whole novel every time I write back. If you'd like to keep writing to me, I would like that too. I hope that I hear back, and don't worry if it takes a while for you to reply. There are times when I can't get the tablet anyway, sometimes for a day or two or even more. So I also tend to have a delay on my replies, and that's why. I don't sweat the delays. It's not like I'm going anywhere right now anyway. Hopefully he's not going anywhere ever. As much as I wish I was almost anywhere else. I don't want to know where he wishes he was. Take care, and I will keep an eye out for your messages. That was April 9th, 10:23 a.m. It's 4 o'clock. Okay. So see, it took me 2 days to respond. Again, it's not like I'm checking my email every day to see what he says. It wasn't until 2 days later I responded, and I probably apologize for it taking long. Let's see, is this the one where there's two? No. That's on up here. Okay, why are we taking so long to load? Thank you. See, you can tell this one's short. I was already done with it. Juul, safe, the easiest, not dealing with vape juice, just little pods. I've seen those Juuls. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that in y'all's ear. I don't think about that stuff. No one had a good instinct. This guy was off. See, it's interesting that you say that because that dude Chase or Chaz or whoever it was that was allegedly the dude that lived with him and Deb definitely felt like something was off. See, I want to quit. I don't want to gain a lot of weight. You know, if I gain weight, then I guess I'll be healthier. But I'm working on some things so I can start coming on camera for you guys. Because I mean, there's no point not to. But I've got to get a few more things worked out before I can do that. All right, so this is my response. Friday, April 11th, 2025 at 7:15 p.m. I said, hello again, a second birthday behind bars. That is the definition of worst birthday ever, or second worst. I suppose the first one was the worst. I think learning to draw will help you in the future. You can make pictures to sell or send to family, friends, and pen pals on special occasions. I can, so with that, right, like, I don't know. I think it would be weird to get a picture that he had drawn, but could you imagine if someone did and like put it online on Reddit or something? Like, I don't know. That was weird to me. I would never give him my actual address, just by the way. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Like, could you imagine like getting a picture that Marilyn Manson had drawn? Not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson. I don't know. I don't know if I'm weird. I'm sure I'm weird in saying that, but like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Or like something BTK had drawn. It'd probably be published. I don't know, man. It's weird. He is very much like me, Stephan Sterns. Oh my goodness. That's awesome, Dandy. You stick with that. Club, me. Yeah, want to talk about me, want to talk about Okay. He says, I can imagine manga would be a lot better than the standard graphic. Oh, I said, I apologize. I can imagine manga would be a lot better than the standard graphic novel. Do you think your family has sent them and they may be in your property? I think Jaws may have been one of the first, if not the first, iconic movie as far as thrillers go for that time period. I really do. I think like Jaws was very iconic for the time period, and I can't think of one before that that would have been iconic as that. Am I wrong in that assumption? I suppose when you read it, that tune plays in your head at the correct parts. I miss some of the iconic snacks and things from our childhood. So again, it's just small talk trying to keep him talking to me. Those Planters cookies sound right up my alley. I did not know that you could decorate CDs in the players while they were playing. If I had known about that hack, I surely would have done it. I used to walk around town with my CD player in my back pocket of my Junko jeans, though. I really did. Just in case you don't know what Junko jeans is, I will show you. I have this one saved where this guy was like, yeah, it's this one. Hold on. We're not going to listen to the music. Okay. This is what Junko jeans was like back in the day. I didn't do all that, but there you could put everything in it. Got a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, a damn PlayStation. Look at him skating with that big old cell phone, a PlayStation controller. And that's not even all the stuff that's in there. You could damn near fit the refrigerator sink in there. Anyways, when I was gothic, I did used to wear those and put a lot of things. My CD player went in the back and I had the headphones and I would listen to my CD and walk around town. Blink Bunny said we all had those, right? You wore them too? Yep. Tom said, no iconic snacks in prison, homie. My chat just jumped so much. I couldn't find my cigarette emoji. They need a vape too. They do. Yeah, damn near the refrigerator. Where's the frosted tips, right? There was one SK drew. Weird picture. That drew a picture. I think that might have been Gacy, Indy. You don't see them coming back anytime soon. Okay. You could practically fit the entire house in the pockets of those pants. It's crazy that you were just recalling the hosting. Laugh out loud. Great minds think alike. So there I'm feeding his ego. Because I just told you about, I don't think he was ever one of those kids that drank from the water hose. And I don't think he had, I mean, he's he has a good vocabulary, but that's it. Great minds think alike. I in no way, shape, or form think I think like him at all whatsoever, just feeding his ego. I wonder what the statistics are that you would think that probably while I was writing it. It's amazing that you were so hood, I meant good, with the Warhammer characters. I think if I tried to paint them, it would look like a dog tried to eat it. Laugh out loud. When painting Tamagotchis, can you pop the covers off? That would make it easier, but if I had to guess, probably not. I think the aspect of seeing things and just wondering if you can do it is definitely an ADD thing. I have painted pictures and the wooden disc things for Christmas ornaments. I have. Mostly things I see on Pinterest. I sell them sometimes at craft fairs, but my soaps, jellies, and medicinal herb salves do better. I had a Super Nintendo when I was small. It was my older brother's system. My favorite game was the duck shooting game and Mario Paint. I don't know if y'all remember that, but Mario Paint had like this fly swatter game, and I used to swat them flies all the time. I'll be curious to see how he acts in court as well. See, there was a fly swatting game on Mario Paint that I loved. I wish I could just sit back and play without a care in the world. I did have a Game Boy Advance, but if I remember correctly, I didn't much care for it. Those battery symbols are crisis mode even nowadays with cell phones. I couldn't imagine hearing about myself on the radio. I know I would be dying to get my side out as well. There, I'm trying to bait him to talk about his side. Like, I keep in mind we have to make small talk so that he'll continue to talk to me, but I really just want the story. I want the information. Like, I'm already tired of the shit. I already want to stop, and I want the story. So I'm trying to bait him into talking about his side. Bootcut jeans, yeah, I like those. Right? Not many people remember Mario Paint. Please don't feel bad for what you did. My speculation is that you shared too much of yourself, and that is what's bothering you about this whole thing. He doesn't deserve any part of you. That's a really sweet thing to say, Orange Rose. I did. I did. I didn't know what to write, so I just started writing as normal, but still, like, I was still undercover in the fact that I would try to bait him to talk about things, definitely feed his ego, make him want to talk to me, try to be relatable, all of those things. But I mean, to be fair, he was born in 86 and I was born in 87. So we would have, um, things coming out like MTV and things like that, that our generation knew about were easy things to talk about that he could relate to and continue to talk to me. I appreciate that, Orange. The best lies are hidden in truth. Absolutely. Hey, Jennifer. Good to see you. It is trying to be relatable, and it's hard with a piece of shit like him. Yep. Saber-tooth tigers weren't around yet when I was a kid. Oh, they were. The Hirabellas. Yep. We wore saber-tooth tiger loincloths in my day. You're so silly. Thanks, guys. I know he's with Jesus. I know that for a fact. I have no doubts. I miss him terribly and need to stop using that as an excuse to continue to smoke. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandra. 85. So you might can relate too, with these things, like MTV and all of Mario and all of that shit. All right, I continued. I am glad I got out of that life too, and I completely agree that naturally growing plants and mushrooms can be beneficial in moderation. I think there has been some amazing advancements made in those areas as far as use for treating depression and things of the sort. I listen to rock, mostly 90s. My favorite band is Alice in Chains. I bought a record player and bought their album Jar of Flies the same day. That's true. I like record players more. I think they have a more genuine sound than like CDs or what you can play on your phone or computer. And I did buy Jar of Flies that day, but those songs have a very special meaning to me. And I love that whole album. I said my favorite songs are Rotten Apple and Nutshell. Those are my two favorite songs in the whole world, and they're both by Alice in Chains and both on Jar of Flies. I love all music from that era, though. I like Pearl Jam, Metallica, Radiohead, all the way to Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, and Pink Floyd. Just any music like that. That's all true. I love the radio, so I know most of those songs by heart. My favorite Pearl Jam song is Why Go Home, Metallica, Bleeding Me, and Anesthesia from the early days. My favorite Korn song is Blind, System of a Down, Toxicity, Blind Melon, I Wonder, and Galaxy. I could go on for days. I like to garden and be out in nature for fun. I have a paddleboard I really enjoy, but these things I do those things to get medicinal herbs to use for soaps and medicine. I want to have a farm one day with a lot of animals and plants and food, off grid preferably. I would ask you the same question in return, but you know, can't really answer, can he? Because he's going to be in prison, piece of shit. I miss the real world. Oh, on MTV? Yeah. Mushroom coffee and use mushroom creamer in my iced tea when I make that. I've heard about the mushroom coffee. Well, I know it sucks being there. There is a reason. And again, I'm being coy with him. Like I'm irritated and pissed off, right? I would ask you the same questions in return, but like I can't because you're going to be in prison for all the sick shit you did to that child, to Madeline. So while I know it sucks being in there, there is a reason. And yeah, the reason is that you told a fucking 9-year-old to play a nasty ass game and continue to do it for years to come. And then more than likely allegedly committed homicide on her. So that's the reason you're in there. And that's exactly where your motherfucking ass needs to stay. In my life, I look back and try to figure out what was the reason. Why did God want me to go through that? Again, bringing up God to try to be like his mother because they have that relationship that's really weird. So I'm trying to relate to that. There's always a reason. And again, we know the reason he's there. Maybe to catch up on some reading and learning, possibly to slow down a bit. You're safe there. So that's a positive, I suppose. And yeah, he's in protective custody. So it is a positive because we know that he's going to be held accountable for the things that he did to Maddie. Thank you. Yeah, but I'm not a big journalist. I mean, I might have great ambition to try to be a journalist one day, but like I'm not. So I probably shouldn't have done it. But I was trying to be like a journalist, you know? God has a milestone for this dude, custom fit. Exactly. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Little bit of Lisa said, I very much believe in medicinal plants. I don't want to alter my state of mind, but medicine from plants is awesome. Yeah, I have a huge apothecary. Okay. There's always a reason for the things we go through in life. I do believe that. There's always a reason for everything. It's the weekend, and now I'm sure there will be some good shows on the radio, so you have that to look forward to. I hope to hear from you soon. Don't worry about how much you write. I enjoy it. I did enjoy him writing a lot because I was getting a lot of information and I was keeping him talking and getting the story. I hope to hear from you soon. I think I forgot to talk about movies though. I don't watch a lot of movies really. I like horror movies, but my favorite movie is called Girl Interrupted. Okay, bye. It when I would put like dots, it would put question marks. I don't know why it did that. My favorite movie is Girl Interrupted because I've always kind of felt like Winona Ryder in that movie. I've never been to a mental institution, but like I said earlier in this stream, if I told you about my life, like a lot of you out there, I'm sure it would blow your mind. I mean, I know a lot of people say this, but y'all, I have been through some shit. Like, you hear me? I have been through some shit, y'all. But a lot of people have. I'm not trying to say I'm any different. I'm just saying that like, damn. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't even be here. So I do relate to that movie a lot, like feeling lost. I think I haven't watched in a while, but one of the things she said, have you ever felt like you were asleep but awake? Stolen something when you have the money? Things like that. I definitely relate to. You weren't born in the 80s. You are the closest thing to a real journalist on YouTube. Dan Rather will be proud. Oh, thank you, MK Connecticut. That was so very sweet of you. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do it better, but thank you for that. Yeah, see, a lot of you have been through some shit that we don't talk about. This is the over here doing the real world. Nene Nut, I do have an email that I can share. These are the emails that I'm reading to you guys. Okay, so it's 416. I'll do one from him again. I don't mean to like go back through ones we've already heard, but like I'm trying to give you the thought process behind them at this point. So we are going through a few that we've already heard, but I do have a lot more that I haven't gone over or read to you guys already. And the stream that I went over quite a few on had been already deleted because I didn't like the lie I told you guys. So that had been, I think it's actually privated or something, but so we're going back through from the beginning. But I mean, as you can tell when I go here, there's like so many that we haven't even begun to read. So we'll be doing this for days to come. I'm doing my best to try to get done before trial. Yep, that's my email, although I haven't checked it. I'm promised to check it today. I loved it because it was like the only time we saw gay representation on TV. You know, during that time period, it was. You saw Lenny Kravitz? That's awesome. Oh yeah, you can email me about that. On my on the well, I do some apothecary I do some medicinal plants on my where I talk about the garden and stuff, but it's not a lot. There was a gay housemate in most seasons. Yep. I remember that. Pandora maybe. It depends on what part you're at in the video. I'm going to have to edit it out. All right. So he responds Sunday, April 12th, 2025 at 9:42 a.m. And he says, "Hey, yeah, the first birthday in here was definitely the worst. They tried to make me go to an arraignment hearing that day. Luckily, my presence was not required, so I was able to refuse to go, but it still sucked. They seem to like to send a lot of people to court on their birthdays because I'm not the only one that seems to have that happen to in here. Kind of messed up how this county does things like that, but it is what it is. Osceola County just sucks. My birthday is the 25th of this month." So we're going to go back because I have most of his hearings on my page. I think we did this the first time and we found the hearing that was on his birthday. I think it ended up being the 22nd. Yeah, that was the hearing for the continuance. Yeah. So that was this hearing right here. Yeah, and we went through, watch him walk in. No, we found a video of it because I think that was, hold on. Yeah, this is the hearing he's talking about, and it happened April 22nd. Let me bring this back up to show you guys. He looks at the camera like he's trying to look for me. And I remember seeing it. And it creeped me out. And I was live streaming. Like when I went back and saw him actually walk in, I was live streaming at the time and it creeped me the fuck out. Here. Oh my gosh. Oh, they didn't get it. I think it's the news that gets him looking at the camera. Hold on. This one's been played. Is that it? Let's see. No, it's not the same one. Oh my gosh, I have to go in my history and see if I see it. No, that's all recent. Lord have mercy. I really wanted to show that to y'all because it creeped me out. Hey, Mike. Let's see where we did it. Oh, the videos, that accountability, it was before that. Oh, no, that was way before that. No. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. It was like right before that. Lord have mercy. I think that might be it. Lord Jesus. All right, I'll find it some other time. I don't want to keep y'all waiting. Crochet and Crime, thank you for saying thank you. All right, anyway, because he talks about the haircut and things, and I'll make sure I have it by then. Okay, my birthday is on the 25th of this month, and I've got court on the 23rd, so I guess it could be okay or not, depending on how things go at court. I'm praying things go well. It's funny you should mention God's purposes because I've thought about that a lot and asked myself many of the same questions that I'm sure you did during your various days. I heard one CEO talking about it and really liked his take on it. He said, quote, God uses hardship as a vehicle to move us where we need to be in life, or something to that context. Do you guys remember hearing about that in jail calls? Sorry, I didn't mean to pass over you, Crochet and Crime, so quickly. I love your name. And I do appreciate you saying thank you. Pandora said, I saw him being interviewed at the beginning by a news station. He had a tissue for his invisible tears. His body language is flat at baseline, so hard to read, but fake tears are always obvious. I agree. If any of you ever get the chance to see your favorite band, I wish I could. He's a greasy ball mess. Like the woman who is for the state, but she needs a makeover. We should all put in some money to send her to the spa, no doubt. I'm a true crime junkie and actually going back to school for criminal justice. That's amazing. I almost named my channel True Crime and Crochet because I crochet a lot too. I actually have a tutorial out there somewhere, but that's for another day. I hope you do good in school. I'm sure you are, and that's amazing. I would love to go there too. Okay. Back to this. I remember when he's talking to his mother and he says that God uses hardship as a vehicle to move us where we need to be in life. So you're classifying this stay in prison or jail, excuse me, as a hardship, but you're in jail because you violated a child and you possibly committed homicide on her. So I would love to know what hardship God's trying to move you through by putting you in jail for that. I don't think that there's no love or anything from God coming for all that. I'm sorry, I just don't. I may be paraphrasing a bit, but I understand exactly what it means by it. If you're comfortable, you're less likely to make changes, even if you're not doing what you should be. But if you're experiencing discomfort and or hardship, you're more likely to want to change that situation and get on the right track again. I did imagine the Jaws scene while reading the book. I couldn't help myself. He said, laugh out loud. I did imagine the Jaws theme while reading the book. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, gosh.
You're so funny, Stephan. Even that gave me some anxiety. Sharks in general just give me anxiety. And I've had a lot of shark nightmares in here too because I've had a lot of stress and anxiety. Your stress and anxiety is self-induced by what you were doing. He continues, so my dreams decided to manifest that with another thing that gives me anxiety. Thanks a lot, brain. Oh, I gotta do it again. Thanks a lot, brain.
Gosh.
He's such a damn. I hate it. Got annoying as fuck. Thank you, Lala. Yep, I made it. Hey, native girl. Good to see you. Okay. Sharks blend multiple primal fears into one package. So here he's trying to educate me. He's trying to sound like he knows everything, and he's just so intelligent. Sharks blend multiple primal fears into one package: fear of the unknown, fear of drowning, fear of being eaten alive. So it's like that ancient primal thing in our subconscious as a species, similar to crocodiles. And interestingly, both sharks and crocodiles are surviving leftovers that have been around from the age of dinosaurs, and that have remained mostly unchanged in that entire time because they are basically perfect in their design, which likely also explains the deep-seated primal fear they can evoke. It's interesting to me that he talks about primal, being primal, because that's what the TBI thing is going to relate to. If you have a traumatic brain injury, it takes you back to primal instincts, primal thought processes. So it's interesting that he talks about primal instincts and fears and all of that there. Yes, I am Jessica. I was Stefan's pen pal. Yes. I bet he does a great impression of Goofy too. I think Abella said, and the ants. Yep, and the ants. Oh yeah, he knows about primal and predatory habits. Absolutely. You got him to spill his girly guts. I don't know about that. I tried. Hey, Lord of mercy. He says, and yes, actually, you can pop the shell of a Tamagotchi off to paint it, which is the best way to do a good job at it. Just use a small screwdriver to unscrew the case and remove the internals, and then you can paint the shell more easily. I used to post these paint jobs online and would get a ton of requests to make a tutorial for other Tamagotchi owners to do it themselves. I also made some occasional modifications to them too, like installing higher capacity batteries in the newer rechargeable Tamagotchi models. But that only requires a soldering iron. See, even right here. But that only requires a soldering iron and some very basic soldering skills. Now, he knows he's talking to me. I'm not putting any forethought into these emails. He don't know he's talking to me, but he's talking to a female around his age that's not putting any thought process in here. I seem not very, I'm going to say not very intelligent because I wasn't putting any thought into it. And he's like, when he talks about in the beginning of this sentence, you can actually just pop the shell off a Tamagotchi. Like that would be a time you would say, but that only requires basic skills. But here he's talking about soldering, but that only requires a soldering iron and some very basic soldering skill. Like you're trying to sound like you're just so smart and intelligent and intellectual there. Like I don't know how to solder. And he knows that. He's trying to sound smart. Irritating. For the Warhammer minis, it's a learned skill like anything else, I suppose. My first minis were a bit crude, but over time you learn and apply new techniques and new paints, try new brushes and tools as you go. I also learned tips and tricks from videos and other community members online, and as I got better, I also shared my own methods and shortcuts with people to help newer painters coming into the hobby behind me. You're gonna always be there to help newer painters coming into the hobby. You're always gonna be the mentor type. You're gonna try to help everybody you can. Oh, that's yes, absolutely, absolutely. I didn't even think about that. Ah, hold on.
I need you so bad right now. You have no idea.
How do you know my name?
It's me, Jessica.
It's me, Jessica. Oh, hold on. I have to do it without the thing. Hold on. I'll do it again. Let me take that off. Dang it. I got to pull it back up. It's not going to be funny now. Hold on. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.
No idea.
How do you know my name?
It's me, Jessica.
That's funny. I need to make a thing out of that. Oh, I got to put this back up. I got to make a video of that like I did with Goofy. He also doesn't socialize well. He's never harmed anyone, by the way, in his mind. To paraphrase a quote from To paraphrase a quote from Jake the dog in the show Adventure Time, sucking at something is just the first step to being sort of good at it. Who watches it? Like my kids watch Adventure Time. I don't even think Adventure Time is on Adult Swim, which is like adult cartoons. That's weird. One of my favorite things about collecting and painting minis or collecting Tamagotchis was sharing new paint jobs or new additions to my collections on Reddit or sometimes on various Facebook groups. The Tamagotchi subreddit is maybe one of the most wholesome and least toxic online communities you will find. I used to love sharing my collection and rare finds there. I don't want to think about wholesome communities that he become a part of or the reason why. He said, "That's very cool that you make soaps and salves. You know he won't interested in no damn soaps or salves. There's definitely a market for those types of artisanal products. Do you ever sell online on websites like Etsy?" I had a coworker who made soaps and she sold at craft fairs like you do, but also set up an online shop through her Instagram too, which was neat. It's cool that you like to paddleboard and be outside. I also enjoy nature. I can go for a hike and just be out in the woods for hours without seeing or speaking to another person and be perfectly content. You know, thinking about him being out in the woods for hours without speaking or seeing another person remind me of the solo lotion that was in his backpack. Like, I really wonder if he took that solo lotion in his backpack and went walking in the woods and kind of stood behind trees where nobody would see him and what he might have done. Heaven forbid. He doesn't know anything about it, so he doesn't take his showers. Exactly. What a great comparison there, Lala. Exactly. Why would he want to be part of a wholesome community? Yep. I'm surprised he liked Aeon Flux. That was more adult like type of cartoon. Me too. Just listening to the sound of the wind in the trees. I remember Jinko jeans. You could fit anything in those pockets. It was crazy. Probably could have fit your brother's Super Nintendo in the back pocket and still have room left over. The weekends are good on the radio, and since you mentioned 90s music, which I also enjoy, the radio station I listen to those talk shows on only plays them Monday through Friday, but on the weekends, they pretty much play 90s music, which is awesome. See, that's a lie. He talked about liking K-pop. That also makes me think he was writing other people. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, Cindy, if I read that wrong, or if you, I apologize. And thank you for the super chat. You meant your son has never harmed anyone, not Stephan Sterns. I wasn't saying that in a bad way. I think he said in a jail call that he has never harmed anybody. He never hurt anyone. So that's what I was referencing. But thank you for the super chat, and I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry you had to send a super chat to get me to see it. I have to click back and forth between two pages. So I try to read your comments when I get them, but I do have to click back and forth. So I apologize. Thank you for the super chat though. I really appreciate the support, and that was very sweet of you. I would never think that your child or anybody having to do anything with you had hurt anybody, but I do remember him saying something like, I mean, even in the emails, I would never harm an animal or a human. Like, yeah, right, Stearns, get the fuck out of here. And that's what I was thinking about. He said he likes classic music when the police driver asked him. I remember that. He never mentions liking rock music from the 90s like I do. Okay, MK Connecticut. Thank you. You're so sweet. I hope you have a good day, sweetheart. But yeah, he likes classical music. So again, he's trying to manipulate me and seem relatable. He says, living on a farm can be nice, but it's a lot of hard work. And there he's referencing that farm in Georgia. Yeah, here we go. I know because when I was a kid, I lived on a couple of farms in northeastern Georgia. We had horses all throughout my childhood when I was growing up. I used to love riding horses, and the smell of horses still brings back fond memories. Sometimes I would walk out in the pasture while they were grazing and hop on my own horse and just ride bareback and sit up on him while he walked around grazing. I don't believe that for a motherfucking second. I would sometimes lay down on his back and stare up at the clouds and talk to him. He was a very big type of horse called a Rhinelander, which is a German breed, and he was about 17 to 18 hands tall. When you measure a horse, you start at their hoof and you put your hand like you're holding your hand up to somebody and saying stop, okay? And you hold your hands like that and go from the palm of your hand to the tip of your middle finger and just put one hand on top of the other, right? And that's how you count all the way up to the back of the horse, okay? And he's saying that it was 17 or 18, of your hand that many times, that high up for which is a lot of horse for an 11-year-old kid. I don't see an 11-year-old kid being able to jump on a horse that's that big and just ride bareback at all. He says our property backed right up to the woods, just miles and miles of deep old Georgia woods. And sometimes I would walk out into those woods with nothing but some snacks and a compass, and I'd be gone all day and try to get back before it got dark. But you played Nintendo and had all the newest Nintendo games and the Pokemon games and all of the inside stuff, right? Like, when were you riding horses and walking in the woods and also playing PlayStation and Nintendo and Tamagotchi and Pokemon and all the cards and all the computers and all the shit? Ain't no damn way. He's like a mentor for you. Yeah, that's what he thought. That's what he was trying to be. Abraham said, oh, yes, because we know how hard Stephan Sterns worked in that farm. Farm life requires you to get up at the crack of dawn, which we know Stephan Sterns hadn't even gotten to bed yet. Exactly. Exactly. Maybe a child's hand? I don't know if it's a really big breed. Yeah, in his dreams, I think. Does anyone want to buy a Nintendo 64 from 1999? Dude has always been soft as Charmin. I'm calling bullshit on this load of crap. I am too, Tom. I am too. I like horror movies too, but usually like creature flicks, I do like movies a lot. Action, adventure, especially comedy, as you already know. I do like books, but sometimes it's hard to find the time unless you happen to be in jail. But if reading makes you sleepy or you can't fit it into your schedule, audiobooks are a great alternative. There we go to him being a mentor again. He's trying to give me advice and tell me, a way to listen to books. If you have the Audible app, you can find practically any book there, and they often have celebrity narrators reading them. That's one thing I enjoyed, putting on an audiobook and listening while I painted minis. You could do that while working on your own crafting projects. And being ADD, it satisfies the compulsive need to multitask and always allows your brain to sort of be occupied by the narration and absorb that info while you zone out and physically occupy yourself with your project. Ready Player One was a favorite audiobook because it was narrated by Will Wheaton. And in fact, I think Wheaton also actually narrated all of Ernest Cline's audiobooks, if I recall correctly. You should really try some audiobooks as you craft or even on long drives or whatnot. It's very nice to let someone else do the reading while you just listen. LOL. Here we go. His LOL.
Gosh.
Yeah. Okay. I love that platform and part 2 as well. Is that when his mom had him cleaning up the horse shit? Evidently, more than likely, I got locked up. Yep. He says, other ways I like to entertain myself are video games. I mean, I believe that. I have enjoyed them ever since I received an original Nintendo Entertainment System for my 6th birthday. Do you still like video games? I do not. I don't really do video games. I also mentioned that I enjoy tabletop games like Warhammer 40,000 or Battletech. I first got into Battletech when I was maybe 12 years old, and I had finally started dipping my toes into playing D&D, which is Dungeons and Dragons, before I got locked up. I especially like tabletop gaming for the social aspect of it. Now, we do know he has that one Warhammer friend that came out and gave a statement that is on my page and that we've talked about. He says, I was starting to feel a bit isolated sitting at home playing video games as much as I was, and decided to take up tabletop gaming as a way to get it out, go someplace and have face-to-face interactions and play games with people who have similar interests and hobbies. It's a really great way to make new friends as a 30-something adult too. I don't think he ever considered himself a 30-year-old adult. I don't. I think maybe he was trying to assimilate into the adult world partially or appear that way, while also, I don't know. I don't know if young children would play those games, but I find it weird. I mean, and remember, the Warhammer dude was like, this cougar was hitting on him and he wanted nothing to do with her. He is very dull. These emails do get dull for a little while, but they get more interesting once I build up a rapport with him and he starts talking about Jen and the TBI and things, and we'll get there. You gotta understand, because a lot of these are response and reply, so I have to start at the beginning. Also like board games for the same reason. You can have friends together and maybe have some drinks or make some snacks, play some games, and just hang out and socialize without putting too much pressure on anyone to hold up a lot of conversation, since the board games provoke a kind of focus for people's attention. I like going to arcade bars too. I think that's such a great business idea. I love classic arcade games, so being able to go into a bar and drink a beer or cocktail while jamming out on games like Galaga or Pac-Man is perfect. Well, this message got away from me a little bit. It got really long before I realized it. Geez. Sorry, I keep throwing almost a whole novel at you every time. I'm appreciating the fact that he's throwing almost a whole novel at me every time, because it's showing me that he's comfortable with me, and I'm building a rapport with him. Here, he says they are doing haircuts today in the pod, so I'm going to try to get mine cut. Nothing fancy, of course, just the standard correctional clipper cut. I'll probably buzz it pretty short today so it has some time to grow out a little bit for before court on the 23rd. There are always cameras and media in there, so I don't want to look shaggy or wild when I go in. Take care, and I will hope to hear from you again. And he put a little smiley face there at the end. So that was April 12th. what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to start with him walking into court on that court date and the way he looks at the camera. Because I remember seeing it later and it creeped me the hell out because it does look like he's looking for somebody. And I do think he was looking for me because I told him I would be watching. I don't like most children is another classic. He said, yeah, he sure did in that jail phone call. I don't like most children. Sure, Stephan. Sure. He doesn't want the lice on him. No, the lice doesn't want Stephan Sterns. No doubt. What was it? Lady Kate Talk said that would be a perfect book name for him. Bed Bugs and Bad Decisions. Does he realize what he's done to a baby girl? I don't know, Mike. But I bet he will when he goes to court. At least he gets to remember his life. Maddie doesn't get to do anything at all. Very important thing to remember. All right, y'all, I'm going to go for the day. I've got to go grocery shop and figure out what we're having for dinner. So with that, I'm going to go. We will continue reading emails tomorrow and making our way through all of the conversations to get to the interesting stuff. If nobody has told you, you are important, you are enough, you are special, and you are loved. And I love y'all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for the motivation to continue to do this, and thank you for everything. I love our community, and I thank you guys for accepting me and not being mean about things, you know. I wish I hadn't emailed him now, but it's interesting to have, you know, part of the story at least, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know. It's interesting to break these down from a psychological aspect. But given the chance again, I would definitely tell myself not to do it. And I won't do it again. I know that. All right, y'all. Abellis, I love you so much. Thank you. Y'all have a good rest of your day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I look forward to all the conversations that we will have. Until then, have a good night. Bye.